And welcome back to the Secret Podcast. My PC has died like 2 times in the last 3 weeks in the middle of the show.
Is it a weird coincidence that happened right when you're talking about something that people could potentially disagree with?
I don't think it is.
Conspiracy. What I was going to get into, though, before it cut out, actually, Xavier, you said you got something that you wanted to ramble on.
Well, I think, if I remember correctly, we were talking about people getting, mad about political shit, Yeah. And I was saying, like, those people who get like so ridiculously mad on Twitter, like you present them with things like facts and like the truth, and they really just don't enjoy that because then they're wrong, but they're not allowed to admit that to themselves because they're maniacs. So they then that's when it gets to like the hashtag you're canceled, like I'm gonna call your job, like you're a Nazi. You know what I mean? And I just don't appreciate that because it's I took the time to, research whatever it is I'm talking about because I wanted to have an informed opinion. I don't know. It's just like
one thing that I really do appreciate about Kanye's recent rambles. Now, there have been him going down this path has led to some rather questionable cosigns, such as co-signing ASAP Bari, who is a domestic abuser, a quite severe one at that. But he's he wants to cancel this fucking funnily enough, cancel the cancel culture. You know what I mean? I hate this bullshit of when somebody makes a mistake or does something stupid or questionable, they're like, all right, let's try to end them. Like earlier this year in July, if you guys remember, I was targeted by the cancel culture. They try to get me. I lost a sponsorship due to it. They try to get me banned on Twitch, all because I may have made some rather questionable comments about the plight of lacking vision. Now, could I have said what I said more tactfully? Sure. But I feel like under the context, what I said really wasn't that bad. However, out of context, I will admit, even I kind of believed that I was being hateful. So I can't really blame people.
I really don't think it was that bad, given the context.
Really
like what you were trying to do was you were presenting a they teach children this in elementary school or middle school or something. Writing a persuasive essay is all you were doing. You were just presenting your side of the argument, and you were persuading.
You were doing it in a bit more of an aggressive. You know what I mean? To try and because you were presenting the same information earlier in that stream, right? But in a more tactful and respectful way.
But here's the thing: blind people would agree with you.
They'd be like, you know what? Yeah, it kind of does suck.
Here's the thing: they'd be sitting there and they'd think my life's not that bad as they walk their stick down the fucking road, running into every single pebble and block on the fucking road.
Blind people are not to be fucked with. You need to watch out.
And then they hear you say that, and they're like, "Fuck, my life sucks."
Dude,
and then they start walking down the traffic because they're like, "Fuck it, let me kiss this train."
You want to know what's interesting? People in my chat were saying some shit like, "Yeah, if I'm blind, I'll be fucking like Daredevil." I'm like, let me get this straight. You think that if you're blind, you're going to become a superhero? Like Daredevil is not blind. This motherfucker just be seeing shit. It's just congratulations. That's not going to happen to you if you are just blind.
That's the thing. He's not seeing shit. He's hearing shit. It's a visual medium that you're watching. So they have to fucking present it in a way that fucking makes sense visually. That's not what it's actually like for him.
I think one of the biggest problems with all that, or cancel culture in general, is are you actually mad or are you fake mad? Because if you're actually offended because you see something, that's fine. You have a reason to, because maybe you experienced it, you lived through it. But when people are just like, you know what, I'm just gonna be mad just because everybody else is, be mad about it for 12 hours and then forget. But the next day, it's I think that part is what is trash. It's are you actually mad or are you fake mad?
But here's the question, Rhyme. I want to know this from your perspective. Do you think that people should have the right, for example, should I have the right as an Asian man to get mad about something that I feel is offensive towards black people?
That's a good question.
Because here's the thing, that we do this a lot for the Japanese. When they made the Ghost in the Shell movie, everyone got very upset because Scarlett Johansson was stealing the role from, potentially a Japanese woman or even just an Asian woman to play the role of Motoko or whatever the fuck her Japanese ass name is. And if you asked people on the streets in Japan, because I'm subscribed to a number of Japanese YouTube channels where they just walk up to people on the side of the road and ask them questions, because for whatever reason that's interesting to me. And they asked them, like both of these channels, I believe, asked them what they thought of American people, white people even specifically, playing the roles of their characters and shit like that. And they all seemingly, like almost without question, found it to be really cool, and they were happy about it.
To answer that question, I think it just comes down to, depends on what it is. Like, in a situation with the whole Scarlett Johansson thing, I feel like people would just be mad. And in that case, I guess it's not okay to be mad. But at the same time, to say you shouldn't be mad is kind of wrong. So I actually don't even know how to answer that question. But
okay, for me, as like I'm a biracial man. I don't know if y'all knew that. Shout out my boy Logic.
Are you buying anything else?
Yeah. Anyways, so like the other day I was talking about some shitty singing show, like it's called like The Voice or something. You guys ever heard of that show?
Yeah.
And this girl I was talking to was a Caucasian woman.
Sure.
She's like, I just really can't watch The Voice because they only ever have one black judge on it every year. And I literally, like, I was like, what? I was like, let me tell you right now, the reason why there's only one black judge on The Voice is because their demographic is not black people.
Actually, this is very poignant. This is something that Aziz Ansari said in his show Master of None, right? He said that, like, you can have a minority in a group, in a cast, right? And it be completely fine. Nobody really cares. But the moment there's more than one of the same minority in that group of the show, it now becomes a blank minority show. Like, so for example, if there's 2 Indian people in a TV show cast, that is now an Indian TV show, right? If there's 2 black judges in The Voice, all of a sudden now that's viewed as like, oh, that's a black singing competition. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, and I thought that was very interesting of Aziz Ansari to say that, because I thought that was hashtag true. I'm gonna be real.
Like Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah,
like that's a black show.
That's a black show.
Because like I find Everybody Hates Chris funny, and I think most people would.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's fair to say that the situational comedy or the situational, or rather just the situations that show derives its comedy from, are mainly from the plight of the African American in the early 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
yeah,
that's how it is.
So it's fair to say that perhaps more African American people would be able to relate.
I just think that if you're actually mad at something, fine. But like, it just, most of the time, I just feel like people are just angry. They're not actually mad. Again, if you ask somebody what they're mad about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, when you know they were mad and they say, I don't remember, it's like you weren't really mad.
Yeah,
if something happened and you're mad about for like a month, like, first of all, let it go. Second of all, then you're actually mad. Then it's like, maybe you have a reason to. Maybe like you experience something in life, even if you are mad about stuff that happens on the opposite race or opposite whatever. Maybe it's something that happened in your life that makes you like feel that way. In which case, okay, fine, you have reason to be mad. But most of the time, I just feel like people are angry just because they're expecting everyone to lash out. So, like, if they're, like whitewashing an anime that's being turned into a real live action movie, it's like, are you just mad because you expect people to get mad at that, or what? Because like everybody else on this side doesn't care, but you care for some reason. Don't watch the movie. Pay, like, vote with your money. Vote with your wallet.
There's just like nothing makes me more angry like when white people get mad for me. You know. Like, I can't stand that, because it's like it's actually kind of like racist a little bit for you to assume that I got angry about whatever it is, you know, because you're like, oh, that's like offensive to black people. Like, oh, now I'm mad, it's just like, I don't know. It's just, there's something weird about like, because it's very hard to upset me with some race shit, you know, like at this point, because like I think if you're racist genuinely and truly in the year 2018, you're a little behind the times, perhaps. So like, it's just kind of funny to me at this point. So when like, I don't know, it's weird to me.
I think this is also proves, or not necessarily proves, but I think this is why I think that that nobody's really like truly mad at Kanye West, right? Because he was going off on the deep end and doing all this bullshit before he dropped his albums, right? He dropped his albums and then just like was not in the public eye for a bit. Nobody said anything about Kanye West since then. You know what I mean? But now he comes back into the public eye. Now everybody's talking about him again. I bet like the similar things going to happen. Like when he drops Yandi and stops talking, people are just going to stop talking about it, right? Like if you're truly mad and upset about like what Kanye is doing, then I feel like you keep that same energy, right? Like if it's something that you feel that passionately about, like I feel like that doesn't go away when, you know, he just doesn't tweet for a couple days.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Now, Kanye
I just
did say
personally don't like. I just find it funny that like I feel like the people who are getting offended at like shit that they think should be offensive to black people or to Asian people, or like they feel the need to like stand up for Asian people when Asian people don't give a shit. And that's the thing. Like Asian people who are in America might give a shit. You know what I mean? Like that's a different story. But the people, like actual Japanese people from the country where that content originated in the story or in the context of the situation that I brought up earlier, like they don't give a shit. The reason that, you know, it's fair to me, in my opinion, for Asian people in the United States to perhaps get a little bit upset is because it could be seen to them as like, and I think this is actually a fair statement that, like, you know, there aren't a lot of big roles for Asian people, especially not Asian women. Not that there's a lot for Asian men, but regardless. So, like, to take a decent role away from an Asian woman could be seen as, you know, questionable. However, that movie just simply wouldn't have been made without Scarlett Johansson. So it requires just a little bit of critical thinking to contemplate the fact that, you know, even with Scarlett Johansson, which is one of the only big name woman leads, especially for action movies at this point, couldn't bring in dollars to make that movie worthwhile. Like, there just isn't a Japanese woman name right now that could, or really even a Japanese woman name at all, which is like, a different issue in and of itself, because, like, you know, perhaps they haven't been given the chance to become that, but, you know, it'd be like that.
And I think, like, it goes to say that Scarlett Johansson being attached to that movie was huge, because she's, like Matt said, she's probably the biggest female actress right now. And even then the movie did shit. Although I do think a big reason why that movie did so poorly was the cancel culture. I feel like a lot of people were all over that. But even then, I think with the cancel culture and Scarlett Johansson, it still probably would have outsold it if it was just a random, like, Asian female lead in there. I feel like that would have not even driven as many people as Scarlett Johansson.
Here's the thing. Like, nobody knows what Ghost in the Shell is anymore.
That's true.
Like, people who watch anime now don't know about Ghost in the Shell.
It was kind of surprising that they decided to make a live action movie out of it.
Out of what, sorry?
It was surprised that they decided to make a live action movie on Ghost in the Shell out of all things. And like today, like
I actually liked that movie.
10 years ago, it probably would have been perfect. Like, you know, in the pinnacle of, well, actually, I won't say it was perfect because he also had worse technology back then. But like when Toonami was happening and they were airing Ghost in the Shell on a weekly basis, like all of us weebs would have gone and seen that shit. But like today, it's like, really that? Yeah, you decided to make a movie.
I think they were because a lot of people like will credit Ghost in the Shell as like a very influential anime, and you know that's very true. But the difference here is that Ghost in the Shell is very influential, but doesn't hold the name of a Dragon Ball or an Akira. Like that's not going to be enough to get people out there. Like I bet an Akira live action movie is like that, the one that they're trying to make. Like more people would go see that than like a Ghost in the Shell.
I think even less people know about Akira.
There's no way that's true.
I think that's true.
There's no way.
I think like way less people know about it. Akira, like,
nah, I disagree.
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
not only is
that's
it
actually kind of debatable. That's very debatable, actually.
Like not only is it like 10 years older, I'm pretty sure, but it's also even more hard to comprehend and like weird.
Yeah, it is. But I think that a lot of creators in particular, or I don't want to say necessarily a lot because you know, I can't think of like a billion off the top of my head, but people like credit Akira for a lot of inspirational purposes, and I don't really ever really see that for Ghost in the Shell. I think that Akira just has more of a legacy behind it than Ghost in the Shell does.
And
Ghost in the Shell.
If Akira had an actual movie, people will go just because of the name alone, as opposed to Ghost in the Shell.
See, I just don't feel like people know the name Akira.
They do and they don't. Like, Ghost in the Shell has its name because it was on Toonami. And a lot of people's entrance to Weebism was Toonami back in the day.
Yeah.
But like at some point, you have to heard the word Akira at some point. And if you haven't, someone else will say that they heard about it. And that like the word of mouth alone would spread to bring.
I mean that's a very interesting conversation. I never thought about that. You know, I really don't know which one is more known by like a general populace. Not
that's
like
what I
people.
Mean.
Yeah, like I really don't know who would. Now that's an interesting question.
Because you'll get the Tosis of the world. They'll preach the book of Akira to everybody, and someone's gonna be like, maybe I should go check it out because that sounds interesting.
Like I think people should know Akira, and people should also know Ghost in the Shell because I mean Ghost in the Shell like inspired the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like Akira did, yeah, like bigly. As our Lord Savior President Trump would say, but like Akira did as well to some degree. But like I think it's much easier to see the influences of Ghost in the Shell in the Matrix than it is to see Akira's. But yeah, I personally don't think like a normal people like on the street. Like I think if I asked everybody in my class, like if I held a poll in my classes, and just asked like who here has ever heard of Ghost in the Shell and who here has ever heard of Akira, that more people would raise their hands for Ghost in the Shell.
I agree.
I would agree to that only because of the outrage that the recent live action movie got.
I was going to say, I think that's only fair. Yeah.
Yeah. If you asked before that movie came out, I think the answer would be more interesting.
I agree. I think more people would say they heard of Ghost in the Shell again, just because it was a big part of Toonami. But again, if you ask those same people, who recommends it? How many of those people will raise their hand and say yes?
Yeah, like I guarantee
not as many
no
as
one
Akira fans would.
No one knows that the Stronger music video references Akira.
That's probably true.
No one.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know, maybe it's because I hop on Akira's cock a lot that I can't imagine that, but I don't know.
I mean, like that's fair, like I think but like I think like Rhymestyle said, everybody, like we all grew up with Toonami. Like even people who aren't really like weebs grew up with Toonami and shit. So like we've all heard of Ghost in the Shell. I personally like I was like, what the fuck is a ghost in the shell? And why is there a bitch as the main character? Like that's a negative. And so I skipped right the fuck past it. I'll watch Big O, I'll watch Case Closed, I'll watch Inuyasha in the morning. The second they put on Ghost in the Shell, you know what I mean? I was like, that's a skip.
I'm not gonna lie, I skipped every single time. I watch it sometimes, but
I watch it now.
Most
like I watched like before Ghost in the Shell came out, I watched Ghost in the Shell, like the original movie. I tried to watch the second one, but it's literally impossible to find. And I watched a good bit of whatever the anime is called, Ghost in the Shell.
I will say the Ghost in the Shell anime movie is fucking phenomenal. I love that movie a lot. Obviously, like Akira, like pop my asshole and shit, but like Ghost in the Shell is fucking phenomenal, man. I don't even know what that metaphor is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what does that mean, bro?
Like y'all gonna hold that. We think of the definition later. Say it now.
Yeah, I was like, we're not just gonna like. Sometimes Omega will say something stupid and I let it pass. This ain't one of them times, bro.
Did not a joint.
Did not any.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that was fun. So, Rhyme, I have a question for you.
Bet.
It's about that time.
Should I ask question 1 or question 3? Question 2 obviously is completely irrelevant.
I don't know about question 1 because Rhyme is in a committed relationship, so I don't know if you should ask that one.
All right, bet. My favorite one. Then.
Ask it. Ask it.
Ask it anyway.
Ask it.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Fuck it,
All right.
I was gonna go with question 3 because I think question 3 is gonna be more fun, but I'll save it for later.
We got time.
Yeah. Are you sure? I don't know. It's looking close to the halfway point of the show. Anyway, here we go. So, Rhyme, we're gonna pretend this is hypothetical single Rhyme. 5-10 years ago. I don't know how long your relationship has been. So, hypothetical single Rhymestyle. You know what I mean? You're rolling up. You know what I mean? You find a a girl, you find her attractive, this, that, and the other, whatever it is. You know what I mean? She's like your ideal type, whatever. You even might think she's funny, which, as we all know, gentlemen, is not a dime a dozen. I'm sorry, a diamond in the rough. Women aren't funny. If there's any of you watching in the chat room, of the 160 of you, I'm sure there aren't. But if there are, please confirm to us that you understand you're not funny. Secondly,
here comes the cancel culture.
Secondly, so anyway, you go on like the third date, and we all know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Means, you know what I mean?
The business is about to be brought.
Yeah. So you guys are in the back of your car, you know what I mean? And, you start kissing down her cheeks, down to her neck, you know what I mean? Down her fucking, her blouse, this, that, and the other. You take off her blouse, just be like, damn, okay, there's some nice tits, whatever your preferred size and shape are. And you proceed down to her pants. Where you proceed to unbutton them.
Right.
And remove them. Okay. And then you go to remove her panties. And you're like, here we go. I haven't heard a scream and a yell yet, which means I'm probably good. Hopefully I won't get Kavanaugh'd. And then you continue down.
Jesus.
You continue down into the fray when you are met with what can only be described as what, Chris?
We're going to go ahead and call them roast beef curtains. It's looking like it's looking meaty. You know what I'm saying? You got double meat in your sub. It's like
I was just looking at that. I think I just saw a tweet about that shit.
Hey man, look,
and you ain't retweeted on my timeline?
Who? No, I was literally dog. Like when you were talking, like literally like 5 minutes ago, I was going through Twitter, and I think it was when we were down, and I literally saw that.
What are you following?
I don't know. I swear I just was looking at that.
So the question here is that you see this car wash, I guess is what you can call it. So
Davy Jones' locker, some people would say.
If you were to go down on this woman, the lips would just.
Yeah, here it is.
You know what I mean?
Hold on.
The question is, do you continue to go down on this woman despite the fact that she got quite a beefy pussy, or do you pack it up like a bento and save it for another man to unpack?
Or, and here's another, we've added this recently. Her clitoris is quite large. In the wrong light, you could be convinced it's a small penis.
Yo, first, look at the chat. I literally just, I don't know if one of you guys retweeted that. No, you did. Someone else retweeted that shit, but that was just on my timeline.
That's it.
Oh, no.
Foul.
It's like, I'm looking at this picture and I'm
okay, like I think we can't say the pussy look like that.
No.
Like that's like
foul. Although to be
I'm
fair,
looking at
we
this
do
picture
say
and
roast beef curtains. That
okay,
is
like I think
literally the
say
description we get.
No, you put this image in my head, and that makes me, I don't know.
But okay, so here's another thing you need to clarify. It's clean. She's a very hygienic woman.
However, you have been out. You have been out for the day. I think like it needs to be said. Everyone,
okay,
especially
so
if this is
or is it clean?
Well, because they're trying to. Because here's the thing.
Slaps in the chat.
I'm tired of them making it too simple. It's not fair. The discussion isn't fair. If you guys have been out for the whole day and she's a normal human being with fucking sweat glands, then it's not going to be perfect down there. She didn't get to go get a pap smear before she fucking let you go down on her, okay? Like, there's a little bit of sweat, and it might smell a little bit. She might stink of a little bit of sweat, and that is just how it is. If that's no problem for you, Ryan, then enjoy the fucking meal. I'm out.
How close are we to my apartment or something? Because we can hop in.
You can't hop in the shower. Look, like you're an hour. You went to a drive-in movie theater an hour and a half away, so like you sweated a decent bit. I'm changing the situation, Chris. And Zed, get over it. I need someone on my fucking side.
I gotta say, we're gonna go back to my place. Recommend. It's nice.
And you're gonna be like, all right, ma'am, please enter the shower.
I would go in the shower first, but you want to go in with me, do the thing, and then from there it's like you go to.
So what you're saying though is that like the beefy pussy is not gonna stop you. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah. But what I also would say is like, look, man, I was sweating all day too, so I'm gonna go shower first. You're not gonna ruin me,
Right.
And that's how you transition into it.
So
or you just like,
I saw that picture and I still have the image in my head, and it's just like,
oh,
I'm about to watch this.
have you never seen that video? Or you cannot watch this on the podcast.
I know,
so-
I didn't.
Okay.
what did you just click on?
Thank like.
Toasty put something in the private room that you
Oh.
might want to look at.
Wow.
If Toasty posted, I really don't want to
Yeah,
look at
I remember seeing this yesterday and I was quite perplexed. I'm not gonna lie.
it.
Oh my god!
I don't know
That's
if I want to click it.
unfathomable.
Look, I from experience with Squad in the past, 3 years, I know to never click anything that Moon or Toasty post. And
God.
I'll probably check
That-
this out after the podcast.
That is upsetting.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
post this
Truly
in the NSFW tab for the people watching at home. If you wanna see this and you guys aren't a part of the Secret Podcast Discord, I'll leave a link in the chat room real quick.
There's a plug.
Ooh.
There you go, buds. You can join that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna want to see this, but frankly, I don't know if that's true.
Now, can I say this? Can I say this? Oddly hot. I think like if this was the pussy,
Matt,
I'm gonna go ahead and say
I'm not allowing that. That's not
I'm
allowed.
gonna say it, Chris.
Not allowed.
I'm gonna say it, Zed. I'm gonna fucking
No!
say it because it has to be said this time.
like
I'm-
I'm
I'm okay with this.
you don't eat that pussy, right? Like you make out with it because those lips are just like they're prominent, bro.
Dude, that was hot. I don't know why.
I'm like, you're the only one that said no ever, right? You understand that, right?
No,
and
yeah.
you just said that was hot.
So
Because-
she
and,
can.
and here's the thing, Zed. Again, we're gonna go over this again. I am the singular person, Rhymestyle, on this podcast, at least to my knowledge at this point, especially considering your answer so far being a little bit tentative. I believe I'm the only person who has come across the car wash in their personal life. And
Car wash.
yes,
Yeah,
He's the only one that's come across
The
a
lips.
sloppy pussy, to say the least.
Okay. Then yeah, probably.
But if it was
So-
this, like if she was so brazen with it, so flagrant with her pussy flaps, just like flying across in the wind, like
Dude,
what
if,
was
like-
that?
Like this bitch out here, right? She plays like PUBG in real life. It's like where we drop in, don't even matter. They're like, oh, here's the parachute. She's like, good. She's like, fucking breaks open. She drops out her pussy and it's like,
Oh.
Oh, that! Don't ever say that again, please. What the fuck,
bro.
Oh
the
god.
wild part is there's probably a comic of that. So
Oddly hot.
No.
Oddly
if
hot.
there isn't, someone that draws in the chat will draw it.
in Dragon Ball Z, how Cell like pokes people with their tail and like just absorbs them. This bitch does that with her pussy. She's just like,
Bro,
fucking takes you in.
I was going to watch, like, we were having like a family movie night type thing, right? And they wanted to watch a scary movie, and I came across this movie on Netflix called Teeth. Has anyone ever heard of Teeth?
You didn't
I've
watch
seen
that
that,
movie with
yes.
your family.
I haven't seen it, but
we
I
didn't.
know what
We
it
didn't
is.
watch it. We did not watch Teeth. If you have never seen Teeth or have never heard of Teeth, let me explain what this movie is to you. It's a young girl. I believe she's a virgin at the start
That's
of the
hot.
movie,
That's so
and
hot.
she has sex for the first time, and comes to find out that there's teeth in her vagina that will eat a cock if she so pleases.
That's so fucking
So it's
hot.
only if she desires them. The
Yeah,
cock
like,
to be
from
eaten?
what I understand, like if she, like for example, like if she was getting assaulted,
So was she being Me Too'd?
teeth- I think the first time it happened, no, she just was unaware that it was there, so she didn't know she could.
So she
control
just
it.
like did some Kegel exercises while she was
I,
getting
I
fucked
like.
and
See, I didn't watch. I didn't
And then her
watch the
pussy was
movie.
just like,
And then like so basically like at the end of the movie, spoiler alert for the movie Teeth. I don't know, but apparently at the end of the movie, there's like a dude she's been trying to like hook up with the whole movie, you know, and so it's finally like going down. And then it turns out he's like a piece of shit for some whatever reason. And she's like, all right, bet, like my dick now, try hard. And just like munches on it real quick.
so she can control the teeth in her pussy.
That's my understanding, yes.
This is a real movie that someone
It's-
wrote up
yeah.
and shot.
Yeah, and
FYI.
it was pitched and somebody gave it a budget.
I feel like I have to try this movie out.
Okay.
Chris, did I ever show you the movie? I watched a movie on Netflix. I forgot what it was called at this point, but I was reminded of it recently because I follow a Twitter called One Perfect Shot, and they tweeted a shot from the end of the movie, which I found rather interesting because it's not even that great of a shot, and it's a very odd movie. This movie reminded me of you though because there's a gentleman who decides to go on a cross-country road trip, or I'm sorry, like more of a backpacking trip across Europe, and he lands himself someplace, I believe, in Germany. Mm-hmm. Where he falls in love with a 16-year-old girl.
I'm not Drake, so I don't know why that remind you of me.
Well, it reminded me of you a few years ago when I watched it, to be fair.
Okay.
Before you were a changed man. Right. So
before I got rehabilitated.
Yes. This was when you were still a minor attracted person.
Okay.
This is proof that the system works, I suppose.
It really is. Get yourself help, gentlemen. I forgot why I brought that up, but anyway.
Sure.
Okay, so that was I'm sorry, so would you go down on this? Would you be at all like what's the word? Hesitant based on the flaps? Would that
he's thinking.
That means yes.
Wait, say again?
So with the girl, right?
Right.
You pull out her panties and you see, let's just say that you see that girl's pussy that was in that Twitter video.
I didn't click the video though. That's the thing. You gotta give me some description of it.
Okay,
you should click the video.
picture. The picture that you posted.
Right.
That one. It looks like the roast beef sandwich.
It doesn't look that bad.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it's literally
That's the description we've given.
I mean, yeah.
We literally said roast beef curtains.
I mean,
but that woman's pussy does not look like that sandwich right above her.
I mean, to be fair, no roast beef pussy looks like roast beef pussy. Like it looks like.
Well, see, that's the thing is, it kind of do though.
I mean, like I said, as long as we come back.
It kind of looks like.
Oh God!
And actually, that's
pretty
perfect.
accurate.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. That's all I'm gonna say.
Damn it!
Yeah. I think
you don't get options sometimes. You know what gets presented on the plate. You just gotta take the plate. So
all I'm hearing right now is I have too many options to be willing to go down on such a pussy. That's what I'm hearing.
Look at you, bro. Why you always gotta this humble flexing ass nigga, bro?
Yeah, I sent a girl a message yesterday. She'd super liked me, gentlemen. She super liked me, and so based on that fact, I was assuming that I had an in. You know, I was like, I'm in there like swimwear, okay? And so I sent her this message. I sent her, "Hey girl, are you fucking retarded? Because you look very special."
Now, tell the folks the reply
now, again,
that you received.
Like, it's pretty obvious based on my Tinder profile. I know you've never seen it, Ryan, but it's pretty obvious based on my Tinder profile that I'm a bit of a jokester. You know, my first picture is of me as an astronaut. I'm going to show you because it's hilarious.
Actually, can I have the role as the woman here?
Yes. Do you want me to send you the script?
I have the script.
Oh, okay. So
that is such a good picture.
That's my first picture on my Tinder profile. Here's the second picture. That is me photoshopped into a scene from The Martian. And then a picture of me with a banana. One that has ripened quite significantly.
So to Matt's message, the woman then responds, "That's gotta be the worst thing I've ever heard and so offensive. Are you actually stupid? My friend swiped on you anyways. I would not have."
Now that's what somebody says when they super liked you. And they're so pathetic. They wanted my dick. They wanted it bad too because they super liked it. And then when they find out that I'm a little offensive, they fucking want to sit there and act like they didn't like me. Like, what the fuck is that?
2018.
Imagine
like I said earlier, it's 2018.
Imagine being like, "Oh, my friend swiped on you. I would not do this." Like, who are you trying to prove yourself to? Like, just unmatch and keep it going.
The funny thing is, like, she so like I just happened to still be on Tinder when so like I sent that message to her and I was like swipe, and then I noticed I got a message. I was like, all right, let's see what's popping for this weekend, baby boy. You're in a mean. And so I tab back over. I go to the messages tab and I see she says, she ironically calls me stupid. And then says that she didn't even like me. Her friend did. And I was reading it. So I saw her say that and I screenshotted it. I tabbed out and then she unmatched me. And they don't give you read receipts on Tinder. So it's not like she waited for me to read it. She wrote that for herself to feel better. Because she deleted me before I ever could have seen it. If I wasn't still on Tinder. Like, she's got mental issues to have done that.
That's literally like that's the equivalent of like, bitch, you ugly anyways. Like, that's dead ass the equivalent.
Maybe, hold on, we never considered the possibility that what if she was fucking retarded? Did I just do something?
You may have. You certainly may have. I really want to show you guys this picture, but I simply can't. It's too rude. I couldn't possibly. I'm gonna put it in the Discord real quick, and then we can move on to the next topic, which is going to be question 3, Rhymestyle. So I hope you're ready.
Episode of
there you go. You're good.
I logged into my phone on accident. Here is the photograph.
I want to see this picture.
This girl
Is this the picture
looks.
of the girl?
It's about it. No, this is a different girl. This is just one I happened to see when I was scrolling through Tinder. This girl does in fact look like the purple mascot from McDonald's.
No.
Prepare yourself.
No.
I'm going to post it in general chat on Discord as well for the people at home who want to see it, but I simply cannot show it on the podcast. That would be simply too rude.
Are you posting in a private room?
I think I did, yeah.
It didn't go
there.
there.
Oh, there it is.
What the fuck?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Am I wrong?
I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean to say anything. That was just like my visceral reaction. Like I could not help that.
She genuinely does look like the purple fucking mascot from McDonald's. Does she or does she not?
Y'all ever watch the original Power Rangers?
Yeah.
No.
Remember the big face in this guy? Like in the little tube?
Stop.
Like
That's Zordon. That's one of your names, Ed. You should remember him.
I think she is she's probably a very lovely person to be around.
Oh no, of course. Yeah, I don't want to get the wrong
Thank you,
idea
Omega. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
She's a beautiful woman in her own right, and somebody will love her.
You swipe right though, right?
I super liked her, and then she called me fucking retarded. That's where I got it from.
Man, how do you get through life being so funny, man? How does it? Oh my god.
I mean, it'd be like that. So here's the thing, right, Rhyme? We had an argument on the show more than a year ago now. I keep coming back to it.
I hate you so much.
We haven't had a conversation about it in a while, but I think it needs to be revisited, and I want your opinion.
Okay.
Here's the deal. Right? We live in a time where people are Zers and Zeds and Z's and G's and theys and thems. Right? People should be able to love who and what they want. Don't you think, Rhyme?
I mean,
love
yeah,
wins, right?
Yeah, I guess.
He's painted him.
I'm afraid of the direction you're going with this, but sure.
Love wins, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Then let me know your opinion on this.
Hey, guys.
I propose a new bill to the Congress. I haven't taken it to the floor yet, but I'm preparing. And that's why I'm going through the trials and tribulations of arguing it against the likes of you gentlemen, seasoned law veterans, to bolster my argument before I go into the courtroom. Here's what I think. If an animal is bigger than you and has the ability to kill you, you should be able to have sex with it. And here's my deal.
Yo, but can I
let me set out a few animals who might be on the docket here.
Okay.
A horse, and let me say why. You might say, a horse. How's a horse gonna get you? Have you ever seen a horse kill someone? It's pretty fucking upsetting. They fling that back hoof back, right? They're like hoof, and they hit you in the head with that horseshoe, and you're knocked out. You're done. All right, you're dead. So horses get you, bro. If I enter a horse and a horse ain't won it, I'm gone. So that's just a true statement. And if anything, I might end up being the one getting fucked, or rather impaled. So next up, a lion, a tiger, a harambe. These are all animals who, if they don't wish to be fucked, will not be fucked. Okay, Brian? I think you're with me on this.
So here's the thing that's upsetting about this argument, right? I disagree wholeheartedly.
But
however,
it makes sense, though.
Yeah, but it makes sense. So it's so fucking annoying to argue because it makes perfect fucking sense.
You're basically asking should that be legal?
I'm saying, right. Do you believe in love? Is what I'm asking. Truly. At the end of the day, what I'm wondering, Ryan, do you believe in love?
I mean, if someone wants to pursue, because let's be real, those people exist across the world.
They sure do, documented.
Yeah, they're very documented. You do you, boo boo. Look, I always felt like, if you
so you're with it?
Did you just agree?
If you believe in something like that, I guess go for it because no one's gonna stop you.
Love wins. Here's the thing. I don't even agree with me. I don't even agree with me.
Here's my issue. The love is literally cannot be reciprocated.
Whoa.
No, hold on. No.
Hey,
Chris, let me say something. Chris, let me go ahead and provide you with some evidence here that is frankly going to be against me.
Okay.
I recently saw a video of a cow playing fetch, which means they got I didn't know cows weren't capable of even thought. I thought they just they didn't have heads.
They live, die, and get eaten.
Yes. Yeah, they just walk around, they're like, oh, that's some grass. And then they forget that they just ate. And then they go back and they're like, oh, that's some more grass. I thought that was a cow, but that cow knew how to play
photoshopped
fetch,
her purple.
No.
In the general chat. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I mean I did because I had to. But fuck. That's so upsetting. Okay.
That is so mean.
So as you were saying, grass eating cows.
Yeah, grass. So so what I'm saying is it would seem that animals that maybe we once thought weren't capable of emotion.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like there might be a little bit of a difference. Now, stop me if I'm wrong. I think there might be just the tiniest difference between playing fetch and loving.
No. Because here's what I'm saying. Playing fetch, with an animal, right? Playing fetch is the start of a relationship.
and let me say this, Chris. Do you know of you're gonna sit here and say love isn't a thing for animals? Tell me why pigs orgasm for 20 minutes then.
I mean,
I'm mad you just read that in the chat too.
I did just read that in the chat, but it's a fact. He wouldn't lie to me.
Why does he know that?
Let's say he's on my side. So I don't know. I feel like at this point, we're all kind of on my side at this point.
Matt, I would like to say I think this episode, mark it down. I think I have switched sides on this topic.
Because you can't. Because here's the thing. There's nothing to lose here. We had a 40-minute argument the first time this happened. And here's my point. I don't believe that people should be having sex with animals. Right? I don't personally believe that. I personally believe that if you try to have sex with animals, you should probably be murdered, which is why I want to have this law. Because you will be murdered.
It accomplishes two things, right? These freaks have somewhere, they now have the legal right to be freaks,
Okay.
And we get rid of freaks.
I'm about to throw a wrench in this plan, okay? So this becomes legal. A homeboy walks around with some fucking horse tranks. Horse gets tranked.
Stop you keep straw manning the argument. We're not talking about raping horses, motherfucker. It has to be consensual.
But it can't be consensual.
Yes, it is, because if the horse wants it, it'll accept it. If it doesn't want, even if it's literally just not in the mood, if it's literally just like right now, I'm eating. Stop! It will kill you. If you choose the wrong time of day, Christopher, it's going to kill you.
The thing is, just like a regular, or just like with humans, like a horse can be bred to just like be trained to accept this kind of behavior.
No,
just like
that's in a way that's gotta be some kind of mental illness, isn't it? Like,
and whoa, hate speech again.
Here's another thing too. Like, what if they start like fucking these animals and shit, and this shit starts becoming a thing? And then let's say, yeah, sure, the goddamn Harambe accepts the cock into its life, right? Now, like, there's a whole nother slew of diseases that can be spread throughout that can affect the rest of us normal people because you decided to let the freaks indulge in their fucking vices.
This is why we take.
Hold up. I gotta point this out because Thunder just messaged Toasty in the chat and says,
"Oh
Toasty,
no,
you could kill me if you really wanted to."
But like, I'm not wrong, people.
Like,
it upsets all of you because you're like, fuck. I never wanted to be wrong about something like this, and you all are.
I don't even know how to answer
I am on the side of love and peace, love, and positivity. Logic would be on my side. Confirm or deny.
Oh my god!
Speak for logic, please.
You know, when I said yes to this podcast, I expected these kind of questions, and I'm still throwing off.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man.
I don't know.
I guess do what you gotta do.
I've been
all
swaying.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't you want these people dead, Rhyme?
Well, here's my issue. Like, I don't want a new strain of horse AIDS going throughout humanity.
But like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Anyone who has to resort to fucking a horse is not fucking people.
Okay, what if they go? What if they go like this? But also another thing is you can't say that for absolute fact. But what if they say, okay, you know what? I've been fucking this horse, like dope. Now, what a person feel like?
Okay,
but like here's the thing. They're just gonna.
No. Here's what Xavier just said. The person who's fucking a horse isn't getting any pussy that I'm coming after. Let's just say that.
Well, okay, but the thing is, like, you don't know how these kinds of viruses or diseases can be spread.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. Anyone who here's what we do. You have to register as an animal fucker. And we will mark these people.
See, this is a good thing. This is a good thing because if we don't naturally cleanse these from the gene pool, you know, some people in the past have had decent ideas. They were just implemented on the wrong people. I'm not gonna say who. Let's just say our, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like that sometimes.
So what I'm saying is there's plans in place. Not only can we you know what? Actually, you know what? I don't want my face attached to that statement. Never mind.
Yeah.
Look, I'll have my face attached to it. I think people who want to fuck horses should die. That's what I'll say.
That's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna go.
I know. I think I know where Zed was trying to go with that, but I don't want my face attached to that either.
A route I was going to take there.
The correct speedrun route, as it were.
Yeah.
Y'all ever miss talking about Dragon Ball? Wow.
Oof.
Well, it looks like I am now the odd man out.
Seems that way.
I have to go lobbying now to try to get people on my side to put an end to this heinous.
I just don't get how you're. Now that I'm on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and make this argument. I don't understand how you're cool with fucking an alien, but like you won't let people have sex with their animal of preference.
I'm not saying.
Chill, Zed. It's not their animal of preference. It's their animal of preference within the guidelines that we have created arbitrarily.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm not flawed, but here's another thing too. Like, aliens, they ain't out here, so I ain't got to worry about that right now. Horses are here, bro.
Wait. Didn't you also debate that fucking Pokemon was okay?
Pokemon also don't exist.
Yeah, but
hold on. In the context of the Pokemon universe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe Pokemon are animals.
Yeah,
all right, that's in that universe. But like, I'm gonna tell you this: ain't no horse looking like a Jigglypuff. Now, if a Jigglypuff walking around, I'm on your side because I'm fucking that thing.
You're fucking a Jigglypuff?
That's a pocket pussy right there.
No, Weeping Bell's a pocket pussy. Weeping Bell's a pocket. But
Jesus.
At least it's not what Graveler. Isn't that what Afro said?
Yeah. Also, Chansey could get it. I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Chansey?
Chansey.
You like them thick bitches, huh?
I mean, look, can my dick necessarily penetrate? Maybe not, but I'm gonna try.
I'm sorry, Rhyme. What's the coolest thing a fan has ever sent you?
Oh God.
Shit, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I guess
Flex.
some cool Pokemon cards or something.
Let me see.
I mean, I don't,
He has like a lot of them.
Yeah,
A lot of them.
Yeah. Like,
I don't have.
You know what? This is what I want to point out.
Yeah.
That frame drawing up there. When I first started playing Xenoverse, it was the manga guy. I think that's his name on Twitter. He drew that. He drew my CAC, and it's like a fire painting.
Hey, shout out the manga guy.
That's framed up there. I think
That's
probably
awesome.
one of my favorites. And also in my box down there, I have like a couple of like mangas that people have put together. Basically anything that people like spend time making, because
Right.
like you just spent hours creating that.
I feel
Now-
the same. I feel the
Something-
same. The same way.
Yeah.
But more so about the way how much time was spent by a sweatshop worker in Micronesia, and so like the coolest, like it doesn't compare. But the coolest
Certainly
thing that a
not.
fan ever sent me was this pocket pussy.
sorry to overshadow you, Rhyme. Like that was a nice story and everything,
Oh my
but
God.
Yeah, that
I
was
mean-
cute, but
Did-
not as
did
cute
someone
as these
actually send
pussy
that to you?
lips. Yes,
Okay.
yes, someone did. Nigel
Wow.
X23 on Twitter. You guys want to follow him?
Okay.
A man.
Yes, he did in
It
fact
was-
send me this pocket pussy, and I will say, she rides like the first time.
hold on, Matt. I have a proposition for you.
You gonna proposition me
no.
for sex?
No, I need you to bring that motherfucker to TwitchCon and we just gonna train
Yo,
on that
that's
bitch.
facts, bro. You want to share? Yo, you trying to
Yo,
DP this bitch with me?
Yeah, I need a different hotel, bro. I ain't about to. If I walk home from a Twitch party and I see these niggas, I walk in and just see them Eiffel Tower and a fucking pocket pussy. I'm gonna have a problem,
Oh my
bro.
God, that's dead ass facts. We can go on one side of the other.
Wait, can you?
Yo, do they?
I mean,
do
like-
they actually make Eiffel Tower pocket pussies?
Well,
Oh,
here,
dude,
I'll just pull it out.
There's
real quick.
there's a whole industry, Rhyme.
Oh, I understand that, but it's like,
So like you just there's this side, and then there's this side.
God,
Oh.
that's.
Say less.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If that's what an alien pussy looks like, I'm gonna say sign me up. Like it pops out of their body like that too. It's just like
Oh,
I
you
feel that-
you different,
I
bro.
feel like I need to wash.
I just want to
my
point out
hands.
that Astro Nova in the chat said they certainly do. So he has experience of knowing what they make out there.
okay. So
So
I'm
big
assuming
shout
he had some nut left in that thing because now he's got to go wash his hands. He's like, God damn it! I thought I got rid of these kids, but unfortunately they are still here. Zed, we need
Yes,
you in
sir.
on this.
Of
Of course, you're gonna
mm.
go after us because you're gonna ruin the pocket pussy with your.
Yeah, I'm
enormous
gonna break
cock.
it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was gonna order one, right? But like they told me, like they like because I'm black, so they asked for my measurements. They do this for all
Sure.
black people. I don't know if you know this.
Sure.
And I gave them my measurements, and they said you would actually tear it, so we're gonna need to specially make you one. It's gonna be another $200. And so, unfortunately, like I'm not gonna,
Mm.
that's not
That's-
worth my money.
Now, Zed, I have a question. Do you ever worry about like how bigly shout Trump we talk up your penis
Yes,
size?
every
that,
time
like,
you do.
That like maybe a woman is gonna be like, okay, I really just want to get literally destroyed. So then she propositions you for sex, maybe at TwitchCon, who knows? And then she's just maybe a little disappointed, not because you're not big, but because
It's
we
not.
have-
It's
we have
not
stated-
Stormbreaker.
we have stated that your dick might be akin to that of an elephant trunk.
Right. Yeah.
And I
And
personally, it is actually like probably the size of a baby elephant's trunk.
Do you concur, Zed?
See, I don't want to confirm or deny anything.
Because here's Matt and I's play. Now, granted, our dicks like clearly just aren't as big as yours, but we undersell the fuck out of it. So you can only be surprised in a good way, hopefully.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, I dead ass. I'm not fucking with you. I joked with Hannah like a million times before she ever saw my dick that my dick was tiny.
Yeah.
So like by the time she saw it, all 3 inches, she was like, "Oh, it's not that bad."
Yeah, exactly. Like you set the expectations ground level, and now the problem with that is that it does weed out some people that may be potentially interested. However,
But did they ever love you?
exactly. So
Fair point.
I'm sorry, Zed, but if a girl's disappointed with the 8 or 9 that you're rocking, she's not the one. Now, here's the questions that I have to ask this of you, because I'm not going to name a name, but I do know a certain individual who's been having sex with a lot of white women recently who is actually of African American descent. And without saying the word that he is hearing, give me that hitter dick. Yes, give me that
with
hitter
the ER.
Dick. Yes, with the ER. The hard
that's
R.
hot as fuck.
Now let me tell you something. I don't know if anybody here has ever seen the Donald Glover stand up where he said something similar happened to him. I can only imagine if I was in that scenario, I would react the exact same way.
So what because this person, I'm not going to say a name, he proceeds to pound them harder and punish them, so to speak.
See,
that shit would make me nut instantly.
Yeah, I think. I think to directly quote Donald Glover, I think I would look her in the eyes and come as hard as I've ever come before in my life.
Wow.
Because white people don't have that the same way that Donald Glover said. Because what do white people have?
Slave master.
Cracker dick. Can't say cracker dick. Sounds like a. What did Donald Glover say? That sounds like
be that accountant cock. Like this roll off the cock.
He said cracker dick sounds like something you catch while you're on a cruise. Say, yeah,
Such
you've got cracker
CPA, huh?
Oh God.
You sold the fuck out of those houses, didn't you? Fuck me.
Broke her, more like broke her. Oh shit.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a thing. Have you ever heard something similar to that, Ryan?
I mean,
give me that dino dick.
As someone who's been part of oh, you're asking me if I've heard of it.
Oh yeah, have you ever heard something similar?
I can't say it. No one's ever told me that before like that. But I was gonna say, being part of the squad Discord, I see all the stories and everything you post all the time. So at this point, it's like, what's the word? I'm desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Dino dick. Great. Lotus.
That's what girls always say to me. You know, when I just be fucking my fans, you know, like I just use my fucking power dynamic. I'm like, yeah, I got 8,000 subs, you little fucking slut. And then like they're like, yeah, give me that dino dick. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be like that, bitch.
That sounds like
that happens like so often.
Like, would you say like 2 or 3 times a week?
So often you wouldn't believe it.
Fair enough. Dude, can I say that was a great joke?
I feel like I've been hitting today. No word of a lie. I'm about to find a Twitter video momentarily.
Okay.
This is
like transitioning from what we just talked about to let me find this video is never a good sign.
Trust me, this is not.
But again, at this point, nothing can shock me.
Don't test us, please.
Yeah. Sound like a challenge to me.
That sound like a choice.
Sounds like every day to me in the squad Discord.
Okay, so I believe I have found the video I'm looking for here. This is a Twitter video, as I stated. I'm gonna go ahead and link it to you guys in the private room. If we can try to sync our periods up at 0 seconds here.
Oh no!
Now you're gonna click this video and you're gonna witness 2 gay lovers, 2 young gay lovers, making out in tidy whities. It would appear, questionably.
Okay, Zed, please keep your cock to yourself. I'm at 0.
Yeah, let's see both hands there, Zed.
God damn, don't take flight, man. Holy shit. He fucking put his wings up.
I'm at 0.
Okay, ready? Okay. 3, 3, 2, 1. She have audio.
Why are you touching him like that?
Is grandmama okay? Mom, why you tripping? I mean,
No.
I can't have friends over.
No.
You act like I can have friends over or something. I mean, I was getting some sheets out for him.
No.
Sleeping no clothes on. It's too hot for that shit.
But I know what I fucking saw, Justin. I know what I fucking saw. Oh.
Mom.
No.
Struck.
No. No, I saw.
I can't
no,
believe
no,
people still react
God,
like this.
No, Jesus, no.
Yo, who's recording this? That camera's moving.
Yeah. So
No.
actually, yeah, I don't know. But it,
Wait, what's the little door right there? What the fuck?
Yeah, hold on.
What the fuck?
See,
Wait,
I
what
don't.
the-
I don't.
Why is the
That has to
video
be
in?
fake.
I
That has to
don't.
be
I don't
fake.
personally know if the second gay runs out because the mom was upset that she found out her son is gay, or because there's a ghost in that trap door.
That had to be like a behind the scenes for like some like really shitty like D movie.
This is purportedly like that woman put that in her son's bedroom because she suspected him of being gay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Now, I couldn't tell you why the camera begins to move at the end. Because that was certainly suspect. But
I like it. It just makes no sense that people can like still have that type of reaction to somebody being gay. I feel like that's just like we're all like kind of fucking gay. Like, get over it. You know?
speak for yourself.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Bro, let me tell you, bro, if you come out of that fucking bathroom when we're at TwitchCon looking right, you're getting me too'd. If I may.
Oh shit. Yo, then I could then I could publish a fucking vlog on YouTube, be like, yo, hashtag me too, bro, get them views. Yo, hold on, did we just do so? Split
Low-key.
the profits on that one.
I'm not gonna lie, I mainly wanted to know, Xavier, I want to know the broader topic here. I want to know like how we feel about people like obviously this woman doing something like that, even if this is fake. I don't know if it is or not, but if this woman did actually place a hidden camera because she suspected her son of being homosexual, and then proceeded to burst in on him when she saw him making out with some guy, and then goes, "Oh Lord Jesus Christ, I can't believe it," and then like reacts like that. The reason I think it's real is because of the way that the son reacts.
Mhm.
Because like that is like, when you get caught like doing something, you're like, oh, like what happened? Like you try to come up with a reason why like you were making out with your boyfriend or whatever. We've all been there.
The only thing I want to know is if that's real, what was that trap door? Well, who was in that trap door? Was it
I
like
feel like
that's a
that
cross
trap door
space.
was
That's a cross space or something.
that was so odd.
Maybe that's how he gets in and out of the house.
Maybe the house was they was part of the Underground Railroad at one point, perhaps.
Yeah, I'll be there in a second. So I missed that last comment.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nah,
And I want to
to
know how Zed would react given he be in the same situation. You are living at home currently. Let's say, for example, you had a friend over, and maybe you didn't expect it to go this way, but
Certainly.
you guys end up in your tidy whities making out, standing
Right.
up oddly.
Yeah, not in the bed at all. Perfect view of the camera. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say that
Yeah.
happens,
Uh-huh.
and your mom bursts in, or your dad. What would be worse? Let's say your dad bursts in.
If my mom bursts in, she would probably
That ain't
just
no
walk
problem.
out. Yeah, she would probably be chilling. If my dad bursts in, I would be covering my face as I was about to get punched and subsequently murdered.
Do you think you go for your boy or you first?
Yeah, that nigga did too.
like
We're
Really?
both dead.
You really think
Like-
so? Because I feel
I mean,
like
I'm being like I'm probably exaggerating like a solid like 10%. But like I
say
don't think
you'd
I would die. I don't think I would die. I think I'd be beaten within an inch of my life.
Huh.
And that is not an exaggeration.
See, here's the problem with that situation with me. Like, it's been proven that you can't beat the gay out of people. That's what shock therapy's for.
good.
So maybe if he comes in and just shocks you, that would be better. Have you told him to maybe invest?
Who my parents?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
Did
like
you just ask? Hold on, real quick. I just want to confirm. Did
Sure.
you just ask me
Uh-huh.
to ask my parents
Mm-hmm.
to give me shock therapy?
I'm saying,
Is
like,
that what you said?
just in case they do pull up on you, that way, you know what I'm saying?
I'd rather die.
Look, you don't have to be broken forever, Zed.
I actually, I'm not gonna say that on the record, but yeah, like I ain't down to get no shock therapy.
I think I try for fun. See what it's about. Like, how bad?
Oh, word?
Wait, so what do they actually do to you? Do they like hook up jumper cables to your nipples, or how does that work?
Did you ever play Grand Theft Auto 5? Did you play Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Did you ever play the story where Trevor like starts like torturing that dude?
I can't remember. Like that was.
He took some
5
jumper
years
cables.
ago.
He took some jumper cables and stuck them just on that nigga.
And
That's
that's
not
what
they
shock
do.
therapy is.
No.
Obviously not.
So do they smack you with electric eels? Like what?
I think they just put the electric chair on low.
I do think that's what they do though. Or like they put
No, I
like
think
they
that's
put like a
actually what
little
they do.
like bowl on your head and it'd be like zzz, and like they're trying to like kill the gay synapses. I think that's the scientific. Yeah.
Correct.
Because as we all know from Pokemon, gay is weak to electricity.
Yeah.
Is fairy actually weak to electricity? Because that would be hilarious.
Oh shit. I don't think it is. I think it's
No.
weak to
No,
like
it's not.
poison or something.
I think it's strong. Isn't fairy strong against like everything? Yeah,
Fairy's
it's
just broken, is
pretty
what
OP.
it
Well,
is.
it's funny because shock therapy doesn't work.
Wow.
There it
And
is.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We've proven it right now that shock therapy unfortunately does not work. Sorry, Zed. We'll have to find another way.
All right, now I've waited long enough. I'm sorry I can't take it anymore. I have to ask, how'd you meet Logic?
Oh, so before I got into like YouTube and shit, I used to be in music. So like when I was in college, I was like driving up to Chicago every weekend, working with like upcoming artists.
Yeah.
And I also used to do like digital stuff. So like I used to help everybody from Wale to
I think he prefers whale.
Whale. Wale to Lupe, Charles Hamilton, like the original 09 class. And at the time, I was working with a guy named Quest, who now is known as Sylvan LaQ. And I was basically managing from like 09 until like 2013. And at the time, I met Chris Zaru, who's actually Logic's manager. And we just kind of always bounced ideas back and forth off each other. Because back then, it's like nobody cared about the younger guys that were trying to take the musicians to go through digital route. Because like all the record labels were going against it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so at the time I met Chris, we became like really good friends. We always just bounced ideas off each other, helped each other in certain situations. And he ended up signing Logic. And then basically from there, that's how I met him. So basically I met him when he had like 200 followers.
200?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Damn, dude. Can I recount a story of when I met Logic once?
Certainly.
Okay. So I was at New York Comic Con 2015. Tits at Tamau was about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked all day, for like the shitty comic book store. Filmed all their videos for like 12 hours or something. And then finally I was like, hey boy, you're gonna mean the Logic panel about to be hitting, so I'm gonna go dip. So I pack all my camera equipment up. You know what I'm saying? I run to the joint. And like I didn't
That's
think
when I did the thing with what was his name?
Cowboy Bebop?
Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
remember that.
so I rolled up on the joint, you know what I mean? And like I'm trying to find like where the line is, and I didn't see anybody out there. And then I saw Logic and like his squad, and I was like this, I was like peeled back because like you probably don't know this, Ryan, but I was like the biggest Logic fan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled up on him, and I just didn't have any fucking like fucking tact. So I was like, hey man, can I get a picture? And he was super, super nice. He was like, yeah, man. Like he gave me like a smile. It wasn't like any bit of like, like fuck off, dude. Like I'm about to do a panel. I'm at fucking New York Comic Con, bitch. Like he was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me a picture, and I was like, that's crazy. So then like I hit the line, and I was like, oh, it's heads here. Like I did not expect there to be that many people there.
Mm-hmm.
There was quite a few. So I get in line, I'm chilling, waiting in line. I hear this kid behind me talking to his dad. His dad like is like a head ass, like he only ever listened to like Tribe and shit. And he's trying to convince his dad that, Logic was like cool. And I was like listening to him, and I was like, the kid was trying to figure out a song to make his dad listen to convince him that it was good. And so I was like, I turned around, and I think I told him to listen to, what's the first song he did with Big Lembo? I can't remember anymore.
Shit.
Rap Jesus?
Rap Jesus, I think. Yeah. I was like, yo, you should make him listen to rap. Jesus, bro. And then I turned back around because I wasn't trying to actually have a conversation. And then he was like, he tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, bro. I was like, what's up? He was like, are you Dinozords? I was like, that's crazy.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm dead ass serious. And he was like, you Dinozords? And I was like, Nani? Like, I had made a video in like 6 months. But I think he actually knew me from Chris, if I remember correctly. So,
interesting.
Yeah, so he knew like all of us. But he was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you were cool on the derp circle. I was like,
Shout out the derp circle.
The derp circle, man. That's a.
So like, I was pretty close to the end of the line. Get in. Everyone's sitting down. I sit next to this fine ass Mexican bitch. And like some dude's like got like cool hair and shit. And then like this big fat motherfucker. And I was like, what the hell? This is a goddamn diverse ass group. And I sit down. And Logic comes down and she's like, oh, Bobby! Ah! And I was like, that's crazy, bro. Like, you can chill out. That's my dog. You know? And then, like, we got a picture. I realized like a year later that was his wife.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And his manager and Big Lenbo. But yeah. That was I think I met him then, and then I met him a month later again when I went to like a Logic signing. Both really cool experiences though. But I just, I've always been extremely jealous of the fact that not only were you the more known Dino, but also that you knew Logic personally. And yeah, I just figured I should tell you that. I've always been jealous of you.
It's funny because like you say, like you were super genuine.
Yeah,
that's what kept me in it. Because like by the time I was about to graduate college, I didn't want to have anything to do with music anymore. Yeah, because like you know how they say never meet your hero. Well, I met my heroes a couple too many times during that entire trip, and I realized how much I hated these motherfuckers. And like I was like on my way out, but then when I met Q and Logic, I was like, yo, like you can find people who are on the come up or like are going in the whole path of being musicians, and they're still like down to earth and realize people just enjoy it. And that's what kind of kept me in there for a couple more years. I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe not everybody's like different, because I was figuring like when you're in music, you get to the point where you just change. You get that $1 million check or whatever. It's like fuck everybody, but like these dudes like just they never changed.
Yeah, like you never find somebody like Logic on an interview saying "fuck everybody." All I do is stay inside and don't talk to anybody. You never would see something like that. Like a check wouldn't change someone like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I fuck around and like make fun of Logic all the time now, but like there was certainly a very large portion of my life where he was like the most important thing to me. So
yeah.
Shout out Logic. He always seems like even though like I used to be a big fan of Logic as well back in like mixtape days, and then like I just haven't been the biggest fan of his music. Like there's still shit that comes out. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good and stuff. But I think the best thing about like people like Logic, or like even I'll extend that to people like J. Cole too, is that like
and like Schoolboy Q.
Not really with the route I was going down, but like they seem like good people to like look up to, if that makes sense, because like they just seem like pretty good and genuine people. So it is what it is. Being a good person should come before anything else. So.
Yeah, and is it really so hard?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. It's like if you look in like the world of success, like you see people reach it or they're like close to reaching, or they're in a good position, and they're just like miserable, and I just don't ever understand it. Because it's out there. There's a lot of people that suffer from it where it's like, why are you like this? But then you find the ones who are like, really? And it's like, you're confused, like, oh, so it is possible. Yeah. But that's the one thing that I always liked about, Logic and the people that I've been around. Because, like, it's like they're, end of the day, they're real ass people. Like, even though he's not as big as him, like, Q will text me up, Quest, or Sylvan, that's his name now. And we'll just talk about Power Rangers and Ed, Ed, Eddie. Or like Logic called me yesterday just to talk about the Red Dead Redemption trailer. So it's like they're real people. At the end of the day, they're real living people, and it's just dope that no matter how successful you get or what you gain in life, you can still be real. And then you meet the other ones, like I said, on the other spectrum, which I'm not gonna say on camera who I'm talking about, but there's like a specific artist I remember that when I met him, like,
I really want to know.
I'll tell you it is. You know it is actually.
I think I know who it is.
When I met this artist, it was a big changing point in my life because like it was like one of the first artists that like kind of opened my mind and my ears, and like from there it was a very inspirational person to be around, and I strive to be in music because of that person and to make something of myself. But then when I met them, I was just like, nah, he's maybe just having a bad day. And every single time you're around, you're just like okay, I mean, dope. But end of the day, I guess it worked out because, like, you know, being inspired by even what ended up being a shitbag worked out for me in the end because, like, it kind of gave me that drive to want to do something different.
Yeah.
So it wasn't win-win, but at the same time, it's kind of like you meet that person, you're just like, how are you the same person who made that, who wrote that?
Yeah. People say the same thing about me. You know, I mean, like I've inspired.
Jesus Christ! Can you keep your ego in check for 5 minutes?
That one, I wanted to say that ever since like he was like I forgot exactly what you were saying, Rhyme, but like some point in there, I wanted to cut in and be like, you know, it's the same thing with us, you know, like like people thought I would change after we got our first Patreon check, and I was like, no, of course not, you know, like that's the joke I wanted to go with, but I missed it. Oh well.
With Logic, it was like one of the reasons why I built my channel the way I did is because I saw him do it with music. Because like my first experience meeting this dude was, I remember it was in San Diego. It was his first show ever. Well, I don't know if it was like the first show of the first tour ever. At the end of the show, it was like some girl. She's like, once she's like maybe 16 or something. She waited so she can meet the artist. You know how like when a show ends, sometimes people hang around just for a chance to see them pop out.
Yeah.
And we're walking out, and she popped up. She's like, "Oh my god, you're there!" And his manager and everybody else was saying, "I was like, yo, we gotta go. We gotta drop the city." And this man's response literally was, "Hold on." She waited for 2 hours after the show ended. I'm gonna have a conversation with her. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait till she leaves. And I watched them literally have like regular ass conversations for about an hour after that, despite being told, "Yo, we gotta go to the next show." So like when I saw like that connection, I was like, you know what? Like when that's when I started building my channel. That's why like I always had the whole idea of respond to as many comments as possible, respond to as many tweets as possible, and build that one-on-one interaction. Because like that girl probably just became a fan for life. Because
yeah,
but like you also never see that because again, artists will finish a show and they're like, you know, I've heard it actually before. Like we out this bitch. Like I've seen artists like do that. And again, I'll tell you off camera who it was because just the story. This same motherfucker. I remember we were on our second tour ever, and this is the first time we like scrounged money together to get a DJ and everything. And like, you know, we're going over our set. We're about to open for this motherfucker, and like we're excited. Turns out this man had just fired his DJ or something, so he walks out and goes, "Can I see your DJ setup?" I'm like, "Yeah." He walks up, looks at it, goes, "All right, perfect. I'm going to use this." And we're like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, sure, you can use it." He goes, "No, I'm going to use this. You can't." And we're like, "What?"
That's interesting.
That's not how this works. Like well, let's use. I'm gonna use this. This is my setup for the show. And then when you open, you know, you can just have your DJ pretend he's doing it. He can play it out of iPod, which he ended up doing. And like the entire time, our DJ was just basically pretending to be doing shit, but he wasn't.
That's
even
fucked.
But the way it came out was like, yo, this is mine. I'm like,
yeah,
I mean,
that's fucked.
Yeah, but then like I said, you meet the genuine side. It's like, okay, you know, these are real people. Like, and like you saw what he did. It's like build this like following, this fan base of people that he feels like really connected to. And I always thought that was awesome.
Now I'm gonna say something to you that's probably gonna peel you back, because it peeled me back, quite frankly.
Okay.
I was streaming. I think it may have been like a week or two ago or something, and we ended up talking about Logic. It may have been because of Young Sinatra 4. I can't really remember, but we were talking about Logic, and somebody in my chat said, "Logic? ? Do you mean Rhymes friend?" So he knows Logic as your friend, not the A-list superstar rapper.
I mean,
that's
always
crazy.
Come across those people. Yeah.
That's crazy. I just figured I'd let you know that.
You know, it like with what you were saying about like the genuine connection thing. Like ever since we made our Discord, like obviously to a much smaller degree, and I feel like, like the thing about it is like it's not like I go in the Discord and like talk to people because I'm like, you know, I'm trying to like cultivate like a genuine following or some shit. Like it's just actually like they're just my boys, you know. And so like a lot of times, especially like over the last like month or two, but there's been different points in the last couple of years as we've been doing this podcast that I've been doing this, where like, you know, I kind of just hang out in the general voice chat and just talk to everyone. And you know what I mean? Because like they watch us 3 hours a week, like we're all pretty similar. You know, like we get along pretty well. It is honestly like it's really cool to have like genuine friendships grow. Like a lot. Like we've had a whole bunch of people become genuine friends of ours, just you know, from being like you know, fans of our bullshit. You know, and I do like one of the things I really like about us is I feel like we're like one of the most accepting groups of people, and like not even just like, you know, the Secret Podcast, but also the squad. You know what I mean? Like you guys seem like you guys are like, oh, this Dolpen guy seems cool or something. Like from what I know, like it seems like Dolpen was just like, hey guys, and you guys are like, this guy's funny, and like let him join the Discord and shit.
Look at Lotus.
Yeah,
Lotus
was always commenting on our videos. Next thing you know, he's like one of our.
Yeah,
like,
Lotus the fucking homie, bro.
That's what's always been dope to me about YouTube, and it always bugs me when I see people get in a position on like YouTube and shit, and it kind of like abuse it. Like they don't care about it. Like I hear shit like, you know, fuck this game, fuck YouTube, yada yada. I'm thinking, I'm like, dog, this is fucking dope. Like you build a community of people who like the same shit, and it's like you're like this big family. And that's been always one of my most favorite aspects of being in YouTube. I still have people who were there since my Battle Z days, and I watch these motherfuckers grow. Like they were some young ass kids, and now they're like all going up to college. I'm like a proud dad. Watch, you know, the only son that made it. Like it's dope. Like that shit's always just been dope to me. Yeah, and I feel that's how it also should be. Like you if you build anything like an audience for anything, you grow with that audience. You don't grow an audience, but grow with the audience. That's always been the key.
Like it'd be crazy because like I'll get somebody that pops into my stream that hasn't been there in like 3 years or something, and they're like, "Damn, Omega, like what's good?" I'm just like, "Bro, like I remember like you went off to the fucking army like 3 years ago. Like how that fucking like how you doing?" It's like that's
he's like, "I lost my legs."
I'm just like, okay. I'm like, hey, guess you gotta
like,
watch the stream now.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, like literally just
that's
from
a terrible joke. That's the only one I feel bad about today. I'm really? Like I honestly do feel, because like I shout out the servicemen, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that is a fucked up joke, but anyway.
See, because I was gonna say, like, just from like Omega's community alone, like me and Martyr became like really good friends and ended up like living together for a year, you know. Like that type of shit is always really cool to see for me, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've always been more of a fan rather than a part of anything here.
What is that?
So.
How do you say that? Like you literally are like you are a crux in this podcast.
A horcrux.
Like you are like we've done 94 of these now, Zed. At the end of this month we're flying to California. I think me and Chris's first time in California. I know that. I don't know if you've been to California or not.
I've never been to California.
All three of our first times going to California to do the 100th episode of a podcast we've been doing for 2 years straight. Like
that's honestly like I always wanted like my first time in California to be like something.
Yeah.
And like it's going to be something. Like that's cool.
Yeah. Like it's like once. So for those of you who don't know, your boy got fucked by the what do you call those people? The financial aid people. Like
the FAFSA.
FAFSA. They came at my neck and they like didn't want to give me my money for no good reason. Like they were like, "Oh, like Matt's never filed like taxes because I've never made enough money." And then they like wanted me to like go to the IRS and like get a letter from the IRS telling them I've never filed taxes, but my mom still claims me on her taxes. So like that should be like ample enough. Anyway, so a whole bunch of bullshit. So I ended up not having my financial aid. So in order, like I didn't have the money I thought I'd be able to have, that I was going to take just a teensy bit out of to go to TwitchCon. Because I was going to have an extra like $2,300 to help me out with school this semester. I did not have this money. So I didn't know how I was going to end up going to TwitchCon, which was going to suck because I was the person who said we should do it. And it looked like I was going to be the only person who just was going to have to be a snake and just say, I don't know. But thankfully I have like quite possibly one of the best friends of all time who like has literally always had my back and will always have my back seemingly. Malik offered to buy my plane ticket for me. I'm obviously like, I got a job recently, so I will be able to pay him back like 100%, which is good. But you know, I appreciate him doing that. So we are all actually going to be like at TwitchCon. And we'll have seen each other twice in the same year. I don't know. I'm excited. Are you going to TwitchCon?
Huh?
Are you going to TwitchCon?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
That's in San Jose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I am. No, probably not. I'll say if Bandai does like a live stream or something next DLC, maybe. I honestly might not even do the next one because it's a whole nother talking topic.
Yeah. So I'm really appreciative. Like, it's crazy that I don't know. It's like a big deal to me that we're like, coming up on 100. I never thought, like, when we started this.
No. I feel like we say this a lot, but like the first, whoever here has seen the first episode of this podcast, I'm sure can also say they never thought we would get here. Like, certainly not. Like, it's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, like,
especially with I know me personally, I can't speak for anybody else. I have a very hard time committing to things, which I think we can all agree with. Even when we were like 20 episodes deep, I still wasn't very committed to this show at that point. You know what I mean? But like, we've been doing this shit for like 2 years now, like 2.5 almost, I think. So like, I don't know, man. Shout out to Secret Podcast.
Shout out to Secret Podcast, bro.
Yep.
We out here.
What is that? I've been meaning to ask you. What the fuck is that?
I didn't want to bring attention to it because I was just hoping it'd go away.
So there's somebody I follow on Instagram that just like started doing that, and like I just found it to be the funniest thing in the fucking world. So I'm like, it just like rubbed off on me, I guess.
I just looked at the chat. Doesn't go. At least you show up to the podcast. I'm not crying.
Shout out that boy Kaggy. He out here busy.
Oh, Kaggy's own podcast doesn't show up to it.
Wow.
I mean, I've never even talked. Remember Zcast? Oof.
Because here's the thing, like I don't blame Kaggy for not showing up. He's a very busy human being. Same for you. Like you guys have like a crazy work ethic, and you're always working on shit. Like it's very hard to have time for a fucking podcast. Like I don't blame you guys at all.
Yeah, whereas me, I was just working 80 hours a week. I mean,
You weren't at the time.
No, not at that point. No, I was just, Did I work 100 hours last week? Sure.
Purportedly.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so I got a job. And people have always said shit to me, like retail is like so annoying, like the customers, this, that, and the other. And I was like, you guys are just complainers, And nah, like people are like really rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they will dead ass just straight up ignore you. I'll like smile at them, say, hey, how you doing? And they will, like, as if I just wasn't there, walk right the fuck by me. And I'm like, thanks. Like my confidence dips a little bit every time that happens. I feel like I'm so invisible as a human. Because like, here's another thing too. Like I used to volunteer at some of the local like middle schools and shit, like doling out like food for the kids over the weekend so they didn't starve. And I showed up literally every Friday on the dot for like 6 months. And this bitch never remembered me. And like, I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Damn, you a Kuroko head ass, bro.
Like, I was like, I genuinely, I was like, dude, like I've been here straight 6 months. I kept going after I didn't have to. How do you not remember me? It hurt my feelings. Like, but they've all the other thing you guys have always said is like it's like a high school and like people are like talking shit all the time. So I've worked there for like 3 days, and every day like whoever I'm on a shift with has talked shit about someone else or multiple other people. So I find that to be rather interesting personally. Do they do that in real careers, Rhyme?
Oh yeah, of course they do all the time.
Really?
I remember at our old job, I worked at a startup, and like every day it was like, it makes you think. It's like, yo, if I wasn't here, would I be the target? Or
that's what I thought. Like,
I just accepted that the second you walk away, you definitely are. But yeah.
I walked in. I had to clock out yesterday, and like I was working over at like a stand trying to get new memberships because I work at a gym. I was like, we were trying to get new memberships over at the Walmart near the gym that we work at, and so I came back after doing that, and I was about to clock out. And like this dude Jules and this girl Julie were working there, and they immediately started talking about this other guy, like the guy that I was working with over at the Walmart. And like they were like, yo, you think that dude weird? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like a little bit, I guess. Like I will say this: the dude instantly started like telling me about how he like almost made 60 grand on the stock market and shit, but works at Gold's Gym. Like,
Sure.
like I was like, you know, that's questionable. Cause like, see, when they ask me what I do, I'm like, yeah, I have like a shitty small business, emphasis on small. Like I make no money. That's why I work at the Gold's Gym. Don't question it. Let me be. You know what I mean? Here's my card. If you need some video work done, hit me up. Like, I don't know. But like I don't ever make myself especially when I'm working a fucking, you know, part-time job. I don't want to make them think that like I'm anything, because I'm not. And I'm not above anything either. That's what I made sure to tell my boss when he was hiring me. He was like, now are you going to be like okay with like cleaning the toilet? I was like, I am not above anything, my good sir. If like somebody vomits everywhere, I will be there to clean it up. I won't like it, but I'm not above it. But yeah, I honestly really don't mind it. I stayed like an extra like 4 hours yesterday because I was just like trying to get that guala. You know what I mean?
I remember some dude like it looked like a high school kid when I was working at Staples. At Staples, in the middle of our store, we have like a section where there's just a bunch of chairs there. So he comes in a little bit after my shift. He probably comes in around maybe 5, maybe 6 p.m. We close at 9, and he just like sits down on one of the chairs and then falls asleep. And like my entire shift, we're just like walking by, and he's just sleeping. I'm just like, oh, what am I meant to do? And like the managers are walking by, and they're like, he'll fucking wake up eventually, surely. And then it's like 9:30. Keep in mind we close at 9, but we have to like lock up the store and everything. So like it's like 9:30. We're about to leave, and we're like, somebody's got to like wake this fucking kid up. And then I'm watching my manager go wake this guy up. He's like, yo, bro, like we low key closing, and he does one of these. He's like, pukes, gets up and walks out. And then my manager's like, who's picking this up? And I was like, scream, not the boy.
Dude. Oh my God. I don't know why this reminds me of this, but okay. So like when, you know, I'm working at the front desk for the most part at this gym. And when people come in, obviously, you know, you have to have a membership in order to go to the gym, right? But the way that it works is like you come by and like you have like a little, like you got one of these on your little keychain. You like take the barcode, you swipe it, and it like pops up on our little like computer screen, and it tells us that they're good. Now, obviously, if the person comes by, they swipe their thing, and it says they're past due, like we're supposed to stop them and tell them to fuck off or pay. Yeah. So, you know, I'm like 2 hours into my shift. A couple people have come by and like they were 15 days due. I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. You're actually, your payment's a little bit past due. Do you want to pay that now, or like you trying to scram? And so like, you know, they're like, oh, my bad. Like a lot of times they don't know, like, and I genuinely do believe them. It seems like they don't know, like maybe their card changed or something like that. Well, this guy comes in and I'm not necessarily paying attention. I'm kind of just zoned out, and he comes by, he passes this thing, and I see on his thing that it says he's past due 128 days. And I look up to him, and he's a hulking motherfucking like big black dude. He's 120 days late. And I'm like, have a good workout, because I am not stopping that motherfucker. Like, not in a million years. Not for $8 an hour, Gold's Gym. You can fuck off. There's no fucking way. And like, I looked over at my dude Steve, who I was working with, and I was like, should I have stopped? And he was like, neither of us were stopping him, bro. Like,
that's interesting. Like, so he just be whipping up like, I'm paid in like 3 months, 4 months, whatever, and then everybody's just like,
he's like, I dare one of these skinny motherfuckers to tell me to leave.
Yeah, I said, you good? Smiled at him and like told him to have a good workout. It's like we're supposed to.
I mean, I do the same thing. I'm good. It's like my manager will pop up like, yo, can you go tell him? It's like, he can literally bench press me with like one finger. You go tell him.
Yeah,
he can pick me up by my waist and throw me like a dart. So I'm gonna go ahead and calm the fuck down.
When I started, I was my first, or I guess this was technically my second job. But when I started at Staples, I was a lot like Matt. I was like, I'm not above shit. Like, what do you need me to do? But I remember my first day. Granted, I'm 16, I think, when I got the. No, maybe I was 17 or 18. I don't really remember. But I was like, kind of young. So my first day, they're like, all right, so here's about to happen. Like, you got to like organize this whole entire aisle. Everything you need to like pull to fill the stock is like right up there. Here's a ladder joint. Have fun. And now I did not know going into this that I was gonna be having to climb quite high to pick up boxes. But I was like, you know what? Like, it's my first day. Like, I'm not gonna be a bitch. So, I fucking like lock in the ladder shit. I'm fucking nervous climbing this thing. I'm fucking shaking. I'm sweating, arms weak, legs heavy, spaghetti in my asshole and shit. And like I go to like pick up one of these boxes, and this thing like has to be like at least 50 pounds, and it's big and awkward to like hold and grab down. And I'm like, see, this is interesting. How the fuck do I like hold this thing and go down this ladder? I'm like 6 years old. Like what am I meant to do here? So like the entire time I'm just like, Brother Bear, don't know about this one. That's when I learned to make it look like I had worked when I had not. So instead, I just like bullshit that entire shift and like move things around and like do some rather creative work. And then like, I finished my aisle, and then I walked back to the manager that told me to fix it, and I was just like, yeah, like I think I did it. Like I think I did it. And then like she whips up, she's just looking around, she's like, I'm not gonna lie, Chief, this might be the best job any worker's ever done. And I was just like, yeah, let's get it. So ever since then, the boy's been a pro at making it look like he's working.
You put in so much effort at making it look like you did work that you could have just done the work.
Yeah. That's facts.
We can't talk about that without bringing up my old job, because Omega, you remember, like I was always Skype or Discord with you guys when I was in the office. And the thing about that place is no pun intended, because it was called Place. At a startup, there's a lot more freedom, but there's also a lot more like potential risk for when you gotta get your shit done. Right. My problem was I was so good at what I did that I would finish my job so early that I would sit there and dick around, be on Reddit all day, or just fucking watch YouTube videos, and I would get yelled at for that. Like I remember my boss made it a mission to like try to humiliate me as much as possible because I would get my shit done, and this is like one of the reasons why I hated it. Like for example, I remember I finished everything. Like I'm talking about I killed this shit, and I get an email that is CC to me and CC to everybody in the company, and it just says some shit like it just kind of like it. What's the word? It surprises me when I look over and I just see always YouTube videos not actually working, and he CC'd everybody in the company, and then it was like, and I'm like, I turn around, I'm like literally my office. I mean, his office is there, and my desk is here. I'm like, just call me in there, but he basically made it a mission to just always try to call me out because he's a fucking dickhead. Yeah. But like again, my biggest problem there was I would finish my shit so fast that I would get yelled at for not working because like they just didn't know what else to do. So what me and Danny used to do, I'm gonna call out Danny because he used to work with us too, is we would just do that exact same thing. We would literally just make it look like we were just doing shit, because like otherwise we would just get shat on for it and just be told that we're worthless humans, and that the amount of times I got pulled in there into his office just to be told, hey, I'm gonna fire everybody out there, was just too many times to count. So we literally were forced to do that. Otherwise, like the place became even worse.
Yeah.
Like the thing that's also ridiculous about that place is before we got an actual office, because again we like literally started working out of a desk in a garage, was we would sometimes get told to do shit that wasn't really part of the job. For example, like
suck off the guy.
Basically. I'll never forget when the wife came in and she was just telling a story about how there's rattlesnakes that need to be killed, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near rattlesnakes.
I'm sorry. Rattlesnakes.
No, like it was kind of like, well, you guys are help a bro out. Basically, how he saw it. I'm not touching a fucking rattlesnake. You better go get someone else to do that.
Bro,
well,
like pest control, motherfucker.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
No, like if you're working at a startup, it was fun because like you get that freedom of you can show up. Well, you can show up when you want. You don't have to be always on time. As long as you get your job done, that's all that the goal was. But the in between, there's a lot of time where you just have to kind of make it look like you're just doing work. And the worst part was, it's like even my supervisor, he went through the same shit where he was just also just really good at his job. He would get yelled at because like we were doing the work too well and too fast.
I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that created like a toxic environment over time that like literally just people would just in the middle of the job just go in the bathroom to cry, and or the girl that worked next to me would just go into the bathroom and fucking take shots because like she was just so stressed out.
What the
Did you
hell?
work for Chef Ramsay?
Dog, I remember one day I was like, and she's like doing this to me, like bump my elbow. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's just, again, sometimes you can end up in a situation like that, and you just kind of got to power through, get out, and build something else. But old people suck, man. That's all I'm gonna say, because they just don't understand how.
Yeah, I learned that very early on. Like when I would show up to work, right? They tell me what I need to do. And I remember when I had my first ever job at Kmart, like they'd be like, all right, like you gotta like switch out these signs and like make sure the store looked good. Now I don't know if you guys know this about Kmart, but nobody goes to Kmart. So I would walk in, I would change all the tags, make sure the store looked good, and that's like 30 minutes. I have like 5.5 hours left in my shift. So like we had like TVs on and shit, and I'd be watching like, you know, the fucking NCAA games and shit like that, because that's all that they showed, and I'm just sitting there watching it. And then the manager come by and be like do work, and I'm just like like, what do you want me to do? She's like makes the store look good. And I'm like I'm gonna
go ahead and tell you right now, I did that.
Like I don't know if you can tell, but like everything's pushed to the front, like everything's good. So like that taught me a very valuable lesson for retail. When you receive your work at the beginning of your shift, what you must do is stretch it until like the end of your shift. I became a pro at this. Like when I would go into Staples, about okay, you need to fill up this ink wall, make sure these printers are stocked, and change these signs, right? I'd be like, okay, bet that I could do that shit in like maybe 2 hours. That's about to take me my shift.
Yep.
But the thing is though, is that since I could do that, like I always performed exactly how the store, like I wasn't exceptional, right? But I was competent. Everybody else would fail to do that kind of stuff. So when they asked me to do those kinds of things, they knew it was going to get done because like I would just make it get done, right? But everybody else, maybe they just didn't have the talent. The boy did, I don't know. But I was just adequate.
Like
and that right there is all you can ask for.
They didn't have the talent to do the most basic tasks humanly possible.
Menial,
so like, when you go to like that kind of job, you walk up to your boss and like they give you like a set of tasks to complete, like and it's different every time. That sounds like hell.
Like it's usually not like at a certain point, like because I was there for so long, like I know what like needs to be done, like make sure the ink walls, like when I was working in electronics, ink walls full, signs are good. Make sure everything is blocked, what they called it, or just make sure everything is straightened out and like there's no like holes and shit. If there's
holes,
it doesn't
look like a third world country.
Yeah. We also every day had these things called like I think it was called like a pick list or something, and it'd be like some sheets of paper where we had product missing on the shelves, but we had some in inventory, and I had to go into the overstock and like fill those things up. Those things suck cock because everything is a complete mess, and trying to find the items to fill up the slots, the missing slots on the shelves is hell. So like, I'm gonna just be honest, those things didn't really get completed too often by the boy. Cause like we have an inventory guy that works here. Like this motherfucker should be doing this. Feel me? I gotta pretend like I'm selling stuff to customers.
Dude, I remember when I was at my old job, like going back to what I was saying, because you were there for the first entire. Again, I would crush whatever I was told to do, and I would also be creative. Like I would like I made that place at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
But like again, sometimes you gotta just look like you're working, otherwise you just get fucking shot on for it.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I would be in the conference room with you guys on a call, and they would like the CEO would walk in, my boss would walk in, I'm like, hold on, I'm on a board, we got it. It was like on a daily basis. Again, you were there on those most of the times. But like again, look. Lesson to everybody in the chat. This is going to give you a quick life hack to make a job as bearable as possible. As Omega said, stretch that shit out. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is the bosses will just make you feel like a worthless piece of shit, which that makes you, obviously fucked up in the head, stressed, all that shit. Stretch it out.
It even goes worse than that. Because like if you're Like being too efficient at your job is bad because then they're going to start giving you other tasks and they're going to start making you do more and more things and giving you more and more responsibility. Now you might be
That
thinking
makes
like,
no
oh,
sense too.
that's pretty cool. They're not going to give you a promotion when they do that. They will just expect that out of you. I knew a girl that worked at the front end where the cashiers are and shit. She worked there for years. She was essentially a manager, but with a cashier's salary or not salary pay. And, you know, her job title was a cashier. Like no career advancement is there if they can just fucking like get shit out of you without having to pay you more. So like I do what my job says to do. If you want me to do other shit, you're gonna suck my cock from the back because that's just not happening.
Speaking of getting, oh, God.
I was just gonna say, like working, like I work at a fast food restaurant, you know, and like the thing that sucks about that is like there's always something to do, you know, like unfortunate, like you know, like once you finish stocking at Staples, like and you said like you could finish all your tasks in like 2 hours, you know, like unfortunately for me, like there's always like a dish that needs to be cleaned or like some shit that could get mopped up or some fucking food that can get prepped. So like I really can't even like let me say this real quick. I am lazy, but I can't be, you know. So like when my manager hops out, it's even more annoying for him to be like, "Yo, why don't you do some shit?" Because like I knew I should have been doing some shit, you know. But the thing, like I was gonna say, like you said about like they asked me to do, like I'm essentially a supervisor, like with the shit that they asked me to do, you know.
Yeah.
Like literally last night, they were like, "Yo, like we need you to run. Like you're essentially a supervisor in the back of house today because like we ain't got people. So like you're doing that." And I was like, "Bet, like it's crazy because you ain't paying me for that."
Yeah.
Like I did it because like I actually kind of like
you. Yeah, they can't expect you to do that shit unless they're actually paying. Like they can't fire you for that. Essentially.
Yeah, no. Like if I would have been like, no, they'd have just been like, but I kind of like doing it because like I like the way that I like to shit to get done. Shit will get done, you know, and then I can go home faster.
Like yesterday, because I was supposed to work like 10 to 1. Like dude was like basically like the thing is like I normally get paid $8 an hour to do like the front desk position, but what I was doing was actually FC work, which is like the fitness consultant, which is basically the guy who sells memberships to people. So like for the day I was catching 10 because I was doing FC work.
Yo,
you know what I mean? So I was only supposed to work 10 to 1 because he was just giving me a taste of it to see like if I was decent at it and you know if I wanted to do it. So I go over there. And like there was like a couple times where this dude, like the guy who's, you know, already has the position, where he'd have to go back to the gym or like he needed to go to the bathroom or something. And in that time where I didn't feel like I was going like stepping on his toes or something, I sold like 2 or 3 memberships every time he left. Like I'm good at that shit, but we don't get commission.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But like if you do have the FC position, like you have much more like leeway, and he gives you more like just agency, you know, like to be able to say like, look, like basically the guy who, you know, I was working under yesterday, he could just be like, look, normally gold gym membership is like $30, and normally there's a $50 annual fee attached. I'm gonna cut the annual fee down to $25, and I'm gonna cut down the monthly rate to $24. So like he can do shit to like try to get more memberships and shit, and therefore just look better than the other people continuously.
Right.
And so like because of that, he can just be like, I don't feel like coming in till 12. You know what I mean? And he just doesn't have to, as long as he like gets his quota.
Is there a quota you have to hit?
Not from what I hear, but like basically like there's a quota for the gym. Like for example, we were 40 away from the quota like for the month yesterday. And so like he gave him like a good bit of leeway. For the most part, we didn't have to use it, but like there'd be people who like seemed like maybe if it was cheaper or something, they'd be down. And so for those people, he was like, all right, look, if you sign up today, like we already had a really good deal. It's $1 to sign up, first month free, and you got a free t-shirt. But for the people who like weren't down for that, like he could just basically like bullshit, like whatever he felt like he needed to do in order to get them in the gym. So I'm trying to be able to do that. I think
Yeah,
that would be
I
fun.
feel that.
But speaking of getting shit on by your boss, and by boss I mean just getting shit on in life, how did you guys feel about going to sleepovers? I was never really I didn't like going to people's houses for sleepovers. Like,
Yeah, I would go to like my friend's house for a sleepover, and then I'd be like, not gonna lie, I'd really fuck with being home right now.
yeah, I used to do that too. Like I used to like I'd be like, you know, fine, like I'll go over, and like, you know, it'd go like to nighttime, and I'd be like, dude, I kind of miss my mom, and so I'd call my mom and like I'd fucking leave, which is social suicide.
Let me tell you, when I first moved here, like from Germany to the US,
Yeah,
I didn't know what a sleepover was. You know, I didn't even know it existed on TV. And I remember I started meeting people, and I became friends with this kid, and he was like, you know, always having sleepovers. And I remember he invited me once. I'm like, oh shit! So I had to explain to my parents that in America, here in the US, people do these things called sleepovers, where you basically send your child to someone else's family, and then you spend a night and you come back.
the reason that wasn't there in Germany, by the way, is because it's too close to the story of Anne Frank.
Jesus.
But I remember I didn't know what a sleepover was until I got invited by this kid, and I forgot to mention the detail that the parents were really, really wealthy. So what they would do is every, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months they would have a sleepover in their cabin in the woods, and like they got like a hot tub, they got all the, and like, you know, I'm like, you know, 8, 9, 10, 12. I'm like, this is fucking dope. Like, you know, you get to play with all the cool toys. You get to like spend time essentially in like a vacation. Like, just the dopest shit ever. And I thought all sleepovers were like that until I got invited to my friend's sleepover. Was like, you know,
Who was a little more urban, perhaps.
Yeah, more in the same class. And I was like, oh, yeah, y'all ain't gonna order pizza? Okay. Oh, we got the same games that I got. Well, this is fun. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. Same as Eric's, but you know, I dig it. As a kid, I love sleepovers. Again, it was just dope because, like, number one, you get to kind of escape and just live in a different way, especially like if you didn't have them shits. But then you go in the regular sleepovers, it's like, oh, well, I mean, at least I like you, at least, so I don't mind hanging out. Dope.
You didn't give me an iPad, but
pretty much.
But I always appreciated like hosting the sleepover rather than going to them. You know, like because if I'm here, like if I'm at my place, like fuck it, dude, like, you know, this is my bed, bro. Have fun sleeping on the floor. But like,
I didn't get that luxury.
I mean?
I've always been like kind of introspective. I'm like, if people are over my house, they'd be like, guys, it's like 9. I'd really appreciate my own space right now. You guys trying to leave?
For me, it was the shitty part was I think I had maybe like a handful of sleepovers ever. And it was also like one of my homies, not the rich ones, because the rich ones didn't want to have anything to do with spending, you know, the weekend at a poor's house. But my other homie, who was basically the same, he would come over. But the only problem was my parents would always go to sleep hella early. I'm talking about like 9 o'clock. And at that point, it's like you kind of got tiptoe to do anything. If you laugh too loud or anything, it's like you wake them up, then they get fucking annoyed. It was not fun. Hosting was definitely not fun.
See, I was the same as like Xavier. I preferred to have my own. Like, I preferred to have people over. It honestly, like, for the most part, had to do with like I had this really weird like fear for a good bit of my childhood, like probably until I was in like the 6th or 7th grade, that my mom was gonna die. Like anytime I wasn't there, like I don't know why, I was just constantly afraid of that. So anyway, so like one time, like my friend expressed to me that he really like was hurt by the fact that I always like would say I was gonna go to his house and then I'd just back out before, or I'd go over and then I'd leave in the middle of the night. And so I didn't, like, obviously he's like one of my best friends. I didn't want to keep hurting his feelings like that.
Yeah.
And so it was like his birthday or some shit, was like 7th or 8th grade. And I said, fuck it, dude. Like, I'll come. And I like resolved within myself. I said, I will not leave this sleepover. I won't do it.
And
so I go to my friend's house, and it's, you know, it's quite a few people over here. This is a friend of mine as well whose home I hadn't been to that much, but was one of my best friends. And there was quite a few people there. Some people I didn't even know very well. I'd never even had a class with. I perhaps had not had conversations with up until this point. And, you know, it's cool. Like, the kid had like 2 or 3 Xbox 360, so we were like LAN partying some Halo, Reach and shit. Like, we were having a good time. And despite the fact that I didn't know some of these kids, I was having a good time with them. I still had some of my other friends there. It was no big deal. It was like, we were having a good time. And around 7 p.m., I get a feeling in my stomach, the likes of which cannot be 100% described. It's the feeling of Donkey Kong bongo drums in your fucking tummy. It's the feeling of a million shotgun blasts in your stomach, and you know what's coming. Now, I don't shit anywhere but my toilet. Like,
Same.
2 toilets in my house. I won't shit on my mom's. It's too low to the floor. It's like a fucking midget's toilet. So I'd only shit in my bathroom on my toilet. Also, this was before I got everyone hip to baby wipes. So even if I like had to shit, I couldn't shit because I wasn't going to be able to wipe my ass with toilet paper. It just wasn't going to happen. So I knew that this was a recipe for disaster. 8 p.m. rolls around. I check the clock. I'm like, it's got to, surely if like, I can just get to the point where we're going to fall asleep. Like my body will hold in the shit while I sleep or something.
Oh no.
8:30 comes around. These bongo drums are getting heavy. Like it's coming in hot on the runway.
You got some bubble guts on
the
a million,
bubble guts
bro.
are on a million. And I was like, oh no. What am I going to do? Like, I can't hold this for another few hours. Like, there's just no fucking way. And I knew I also couldn't call my mom to rescue me. So what was I to do? I had no choice. I had to just keep holding it in. So I continue to hold it in. 9 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, dear God. 9:30. 10. Finally, one person has fallen asleep. I'm like, okay. There'll be at least one less fucking victim. Or a person who's witnessed me shitting. Because that's the other thing. You don't shit at someone else's house.
No, that's so disrespectful.
You don't do that.
And so I say, because at this point I've accepted my fate, I have to do what I have to do. I didn't know what I was going to do after I shat. I simply just knew I had to get it out of me. And so I go to his bathroom. He's like, yeah, it's the one around the corner to the right and like off to the left or some shit. I was like, okay, bet. Go into the bathroom. And I release the Kraken out of my ass. Like, it was a monstrosity. And like, finally, I'm like this. This is me after I've taken the shit. And I finally, relax. And I go turn around, click the little thing.
No
sound.
No.
Oh no.
No sound.
No.
No sound whatsoever. I look down and I realize there's no water in this toilet bowl. There's no water, Chris. None.
No fucking way.
No.
And I proceed to like you know how like most bathrooms you can reach over to the sink. I try to click the sink on no sink. I can't even wet toilet paper to wipe my ass. Like, and even if I did, what was I to do after I wiped my ass?
Oh my gosh.
And this is where I learned the meta that can only be described as the sock meta.
No.
Oh, no.
I remove my socks and I put them on one at a time.
No.
And I go in. Whoosh. I try to get as much as I can with the first one. Whoosh. I get the second one. I still have shit on my ass. I have to invert halfway up. And here's the deal. I'm playing a razor's edge. Because if I get shit on my hand, what am I to do? There's no water in the sink. I can't wash my hands, man. So I wipe my ass with just like this much of like, you know what I mean? And at this point, I'm pretty fat, so my ass cheeks were quite big. I looked like Momo-kun in terms of ass. So I wipe my ass, thankfully. Left hand, safe. Right hand, safe. I feel like, okay, at least no one's going to find me with shit on my hands. And I'm like, now what? Because I have shit-laden socks on my hands. There's no trash bin. I don't have my backpack with me or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't just like, what am I meant to do? So I dropped them into the toilet bowl with no water. And just in case I was in a fucking nightmare, I tried it again. I tried to click. I was like, please, please work. I'm now I feel better in terms of like my stomach, but I have a new pit in my stomach because I realized what is going to happen. Somebody's going to enter this bathroom, if not like from happenstance of needing to pee, by the fact that it stank. Something serious. And so I exit the bathroom door, I close it, and I'm like, and so I scurry off. And a couple other people needed to go to the bathroom, but at this point we decided to go upstairs. Right? So we're upstairs in his bedroom now instead of downstairs in the living room area. So a couple other people go to the bathroom, this, that, and the other. Well, the morning comes around, Christopher and Zed and Rhymestyle. And I am awoken by his mother screeching, "What the fuck?" And I'm like... And everyone thankfully wakes up with the same reaction because we didn't know what was going on. Now, I knew what was going on. But what was I to do? You know what I mean? Like, what if you were in that situation? Do you tell somebody, like, you're like, I just laid what is quite possibly a crime in your fucking toilet bowl?
What the fuck?
His mom, stomps up the stairs, and she's like, "Who shat in the broken bathroom?" And I said, "Well, who was it?" I looked around. I was like, "Which one of you? Which one of you did it? That's fucking gross. How could you? You didn't have the fucking wherewithal to look down and see there's no water in the toilet bowl? Come on, you heathen." And she starts looking around at everyone, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she points at me.
Oh.
And she realizes it's me because I'm the only one without socks. And I about blew my brains out right then and there. Because I fucking turned around, I was like, "Which one of you was it, motherfuckers?" It was me! And she knew it! And she had proof!
Holy shit. I
have not told that story because I had to wait until none of my friends watched this show and I knew it. Because if they remembered this, I'd kill myself.
I have a very kind of similar story, actually. Because before the show, you asked us if we had any shitting stories, and I had one in mind that was pretty bad. Essentially, like we traveled like quite far away from our home, and I had the bubble guts, and there was like nowhere in sight to stop so I can shit, and it was getting bad. Like I was in excruciating pain.
Yeah. So
my mom stops at like a small little gas station, and then we like run up there. She's like, "Do you have a bathroom?" He's like, "Sorry, like we don't have a public bathroom." And she's like, "Please, my son, he's going to die." And then he's like, "Oh, fuck. Okay, fine. Like there's one right here." And like this gas station is like smaller than my room. You know, it's like it's pretty bad.
Joints. Yeah.
Yeah. So like literally, it's like this is him, right? My microphone is like where the fucking like counter is, and then like my chair is like where the door to the fucking bathroom is, right? So I go into the bathroom and it is a war zone. It's like it's quite horrible, and it stunk something fierce. However, I appreciate it. I said, "Thank you, sir," and then we left. And he had to deal with that stench for God knows how long. However, there's an even worse story that I have repressed because it is probably one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done.
Can I say that my story just then was a repressed memory? I've had a few repressed memories come back to me in the recent weeks, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what fucking trauma I went through that has just brought back like some fucking terrible memories of absolute social fucking suicide and degeneracy. But they've come back to me, and I don't even want to tell some of them.
Yeah, like this obviously I got reminded of by your great story, so thank you for the inspiration.
You're welcome.
Doug, I got a story, but it's not like my shitting story. So
That's also my story if I get to tell one.
Well, all right. So I'll just hold on. Let me tell mine real quick, and then we can go down the bongo line. Okay. So me and my friend, we were very close friends, best friends. We literally lived like my house was here, his house was here. Like we hung out every day. One day he moved to a place that's like maybe an hour 30 away. So like essentially when you're a kid, that's like GG, we ain't never seen each other again. But like every so often, you know, I'd go to his place for a couple days. He'd come to my place for a couple days or whatever.
Yeah.
So on this day, I went there. I think it was during the summertime for like a week. So I don't know about you guys, but like me, like I like to shit in the comfort of my own home. Don't really fuck with shitting at other people's homes. So for me, I was just like 5-prong seal. I'm not shitting this whole week. Fuck it. However, I think it was like the day before I'm going to leave, there was a mistake made.
What was
his mom got some tortilla chips and some store brand like nacho cheese. Okay.
No.
Now,
are you lactose intolerant?
I am lactose intolerant.
No.
So, but this shit was hitting. It was so good. Like we punished that entire jar of nacho cheese and tortilla chips. It was gone.
Yeah.
The nighttime rolls around, similar to Matt, and everybody's asleep. And I'm just like, my mom's picking me up in the morning. I can hold off. I cannot.
Jesus,
I had to rush to the bathroom, where yet again the 5-prong seal was broken and QB, aka the 9-tailed fox, ripped out of my asshole and fucking Bijou bombed the toilet. Like it was horrible. The Great Ninja War was happening outside of my asshole. But unlike Matt's story, there was water in the toilet, thankfully. But I look around.
Oh no!
There's no toilet paper anywhere. I was just like, there's no way this is happening to me. Because this was such a violent shit that I couldn't just like, it had to be wiped. It simply had to be.
Yeah, like most shits, I'd say.
But this one was like, I might have shit on my legs at this point. Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's vile. Oh, that's disgusting.
So I'm looking around at anything to help me. And I look down.
Oh no.
No.
And there is a towel that is on the floor. So I'm like, I mean, get fucked. This is what you get for not having toilet paper. And I will say the towel did a great job at cleaning my asshole. Can I say that? However, now I have a full-blown towel full of diarrhea shit. Like this it is horrible. I'm like, what do I do with this? There's nowhere to put the thing.
Throw it away.
However, there is a sink in front of me.
Oh
no.
So I opened the little cover under the sink, tossed that little bitch in there, closed it, walked out, and
you're foul! You're foul!
Wow, Christopher.
Foul!
My mom picked me up in the morning and never heard a word about it. So scream!
You were never
First
confronted.
instinct is you wipe your ass with the towel and you throw shit away. You're gonna see the towel in the bathroom? Nope.
You're foul.
What was that meant to do?
You should have just turned it inside out and put it back on the towel rack, and then he just goes to wipe his face in the morning after he washed his face.
Interesting.
Oh my god.
My shit story isn't that bad. I mean, again, it didn't happen to me, so of course it's not that bad. I had a weird neighbor. I'm talking about like I'm surprised this guy didn't shoot up a school. That level of weird.
Damn.
And
well, there it is.
Well, he was just weird. Just one of those like those scrawny like white kids that just kind of kept to himself, but it was really, really weird. And actually, there's times where I was afraid of him living across the street from me. But I remember freshman year of high school, there was one moment where somebody ripped ass, and it was just bad. I remember people were like screaming in the back of the room, like they were gagging, throwing up. Luckily, the class ended, so it wasn't that bad. But it was like awful. And to me, I sat like kind of in the middle slash fronted, so I didn't really think much of it. You know, when someone farts, you just stick your shirt up, you just survive it.
Yeah.
So find out a week later that the reason why that happened is because that kid who lived across the street from me, he misjudged a fart, but didn't just misjudge it, but like he like really shat himself. And I don't know how, but somehow he survived the entire school day without a single person knowing.
Wow.
Because what he would do is in between class, he would go to the bathroom. If you're squeamish, mute the chat for a second. He would go into the bathroom and just kind of like wipe off the dried up shit stains. And I think because he felt he was just like so weird, people just assumed that he smelled. I mean, like you see him, you probably think he smells, but like the story was is he literally diarrheaed all over himself in the back of a room. Went along with the fact that someone farted. So when people were like screaming, like, something smelled like shit, it's like, hey, who farted? Like he was with it.
You stink of shit.
Yeah, that happened.
That's so fucking gross.
Wow.
Dog, you got to give the man props, though. You shit yourself. This is first period, by the way, not middle.
How do you play that off?
If you shit yourself in the first class,
No,
I'm going home.
Here's the best part. Here's the best part. He wore shorts, and he still somehow got away with it. So I'm like, how did you do that?
No, hold on.
That's a wizard, bro.
I was gonna say, like, low key, that's some talent. Like, you gotta take your hat
that
off
went from nasty to fucking impressive. I'm not.
Yeah, I won't even front.
The worst story I had was I would just go to sleepovers, and I, again, just like any other kid, I didn't like shit people's bathrooms in mine because again, that's man law. You shit only in your bathroom.
Really, because you always strike me as a person. I don't know why. I just always thought that like if you had to shit, does not matter where the fuck you are. I just figured you would just shit.
No, I mean like.
Hold on.
Have you shit in Logic's home? Be honest.
Oh, let me tell you a story. Yes. But the first house they've ever gotten, it was basically the entire crew living there, and they destroyed the bathroom. Now, here's the funny part: only one toilet worked at the house, and it was the one inside his room. Luckily,
shit.
Luckily, I was fine. But I remember the manager went in and took a shit, and the bathroom clogged up.
You hate to see that.
When Andrea went?
Huh?
When you said when Andrea went?
No. It was his manager went in there and took a shit.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his wife.
I was you have to clean it and unclog it real fast before you notice. But like every toilet in that bathroom in the house, it was like a pretty nice house, but like it was a bunch of dudes living in there. You know, you get a house full of dudes, like people just don't really, take care of the environment. Only one bathroom worked. And I remember every time after that we came down to if anyone wanted to use the bathroom, you have to like actually drive down the hill and go to like a McDonald's or something. It got that bad.
Holy shit.
Like if my girlfriend or wife like clogged a toilet when my friends were over, I'd kill her. Like that is dead ass. And she's no longer a woman in their eyes. Which to be fair, I don't necessarily like I don't want them being like, damn, look at that fucking fine ass. Like, but I also don't want them knowing she shits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's only for me to know after I eat her ass.
Okay.
Zed, you said you had a shitting story.
So there was this kid. I won't say his name because this is embarrassing. He played basketball at my high school. He was one of like there's always that kid that's on the basketball team that like everybody knows, right?
Mm.
Like he was that kid. Like he was like everybody knew him. He played a lot of basketball. And so it was the hometown rivalry game that like literally everyone shows up to. I'm talking like the gym was fucking packed and like people like it's a big deal. It's like the rivalry. And so this kid before the game, he was telling like a couple of his friends, he was like, look, I don't know if I should be playing tonight. Like homeboy got the BGs and they were white. So they're like, fuck is the BGs? And he was like, yeah, bubble guts, white. And then and then the coach was like, nah, nigga, like you be scoring points, like you gotta play. And he was like, I mean, all right. So like right before halftime was about to cut out, he was running down the court.
Oh no.
And there was a brown streak behind him.
Oh no.
Oh,
Like a fucking slug.
And the uniforms they wore were white.
No.
So he dead ass, he was running, right? And like it started happening and he was running down the court and just ran straight out of the gym and into the bathroom. Like nothing happened. Just a complete transition. He was just like, fuck this. And I haven't seen him since. So
He probably committed suicide.
I think he transferred schools. He did that in front of like what I'm telling you. When I tell you this rivalry is like intense and like everyone shows up. I mean like there was like everybody from both high schools was there.
Oof.
So every teenager in town watched this man shit himself on a basketball court.
It be
Fuck.
like that.
That's embarrassing.
That is quite embarrassing.
One of the
I think
things.
the worst part with me was like I couldn't shit in the bathroom because it's a public bathroom. Well, that was one thing, but then I couldn't wipe my ass with just plain
One
look.
ply. Like
No,
fuck
I
that
needed
shit.
like the fucking wipes or something, or even wet it. But like I could never use like the fucking sandpaper on your ass, basically.
Yeah.
So it was a combination of I don't want to do that and just in general shitting in the public restroom because you got those cracks. You always think like people would walk in and just kind of stare at you, which never actually happened, but you had that like irrational fear of it.
Yeah. Like I'm just not a fan of like shitting in public because every time I've been reduced to have to shit in public, like I just always felt immediately embarrassed when people just like walk in because I know what I think when I walk in and I see somebody shitting in the bathroom. I'm like, look at this fucking guy. Couldn't fucking hold it, could you, you little bitch? You just have to fucking take a shit right now in public. I bet you don't like that, do you? But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. It'd be like that. It really do be like that. I think that was a really great episode. Like, people have thought I was fucking around when I said we were entering a golden age of the podcast. But I think every episode since 90 has been gold.
I agree. They've been very
Yes, sir.
enjoyable.
Yeah. I had a really good time. Rhyme, you're kind of an unknown person. Where should we send the people?
Just at Rhymestyle on Twitter, YouTube. That's about it. Instagram.
Okay. We'll see if we can help you out a little bit.
I'm the guy that yells a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes, only sometimes, I play Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, I want to know how did you enjoy your time on the show?
That was fun. It was dope.
People
It went exactly as I expected it to go.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because people, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you probably get too many tweets to have seen all of them, but there were quite a few people who said that you were going to be the first guest to leave in the middle of the show.
No.
No, I think it's because like here's the thing. Like I obviously know Rhymestyle personally. It's like when you brought up those concerns, I was like, oh, no, like trust me, he'll be good. But like I can see from the outside like how people might have thought that, but Rhymestyle was
I think
game.
I think you were a great guest.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
really-
like I said, I'm already desensitized based on what the internet shows, but I'm also super desensitized after Squad Discord. So like, there's nothing you could have said that would have made me leave. It's just another day. This is like light stuff. This is light mode actually compared to the Discord.
Yeah, because like it could have gone. We could have gone down that Squad Discord route. However, we all would have been canceled. So
Well,
I think we made that joke before. It's like, why do people be in that Discord? Because it's like it should not be legal.
yeah.
And to kind of like leak a little bit, I'm a go against the rules real fast. So last week, I forgot what started it, but I think it was Toasty that posted a picture of Thanos' dick, and
That
it
shit
created
is
a
hot.
flood of Thanos' dick. Like it was just
Yeah.
back.
Because here's the thing, okay? We posted, or Toasty posted a Thanos dick pic or something like that, right? And then Lotus tried to fight it by posting pictures of women. Now, here's the thing about the Squad Discord: if you try to fight something
Anything.
fucked up like that, Moon will destroy the server. So Moon was like, "Oh, really?" So for every picture of a woman posted, Moon would post 2 fucked up pictures. That's the law of the land, okay? If you try to fight Moon in that regard, you will not win.
Certainly not.
no.
And the funny thing is while the plethora of Thanos dicks, and I'm surprised there was so many out there, kept filling my screen, and then from there it evolved into just basically cock. That's all it was. Kayla walks in and goes, "Hey, do you want to eat?" and looks at my screen. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so happy I don't have to explain this to you because she knows the deal because she's been around Squad for 4 years now. So it's like, well, she asked, she goes, "Do I even should I even ask?" I was like, "No, it's just Moon." She goes, "Oh, okay." Like, literally, I just said it's just Moon. She goes, "Oh, okay," and we move on. Now, my first thought was, damn, imagine that was my parents. Because, like, foreign parents, you can't explain them shit. They just don't understand, like, why.
I don't think many parents you can just explain why you're
Well,
looking
no,
at a big
it's
purple man's
especially-
cock.
It's especially different with foreign parents because they don't understand anything. Like, I remember like your typical mom jokes, right? Everybody at some point has made a joke that they fuck their friends' moms. Yeah, well, my mom for some reason found some tweets that my friend was making, and she called me up asking, like, "Why is your friend talking about doing all these things to me?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I can't explain this to her. Like, I just can't. Like, I can't tell her why he's railing you because it's funny. Like, I was like, look, I can't explain to you. This is just what boys do. Like, we fuck each other's moms, and that's that. To this day, she still talks about it. I'm like, I can't explain it to you. Like,
I didn't think about this until you said it, but now I'm thinking back. So one time I was saying something about aliens offhandedly as a joke when me and my mom and my dad were sitting at dinner having dinner like for Christmas. And you know, I don't see my dad that often because he like lives off in like New Orleans or some shit. So like he comes over to my mom and my house for Christmas, and I'm like, yo, aliens or some shit, and he dead ass goes like, what the fuck did you just say? Are you fucking sick in the head? And I was like, what? Like, the idea of aliens to him flies in the face of God so severely that it like he almost like beat me for bringing up the idea of aliens. And to this day, he's like, you're fucking sick in the head. You believe in fucking aliens. And I'm just like, dude, that happened like 3 years ago. I don't even remember the last time I saw you, but that was probably it, you know? So, yeah, you can't explain anything to foreign parents. Like, they hear about an alien, they will seriously go off the rails.
Shout outs.
But, yeah, this has been a fantastic episode of the Secret Podcast. If you guys enjoyed and you're new, make sure you click the subscribe button. We do the show every Monday for patrons. It goes out, so you can be a $1 patron. You can watch the live stream 4 days early before the show goes live for people on YouTube. On Thursday, it also goes live on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music on Thursdays, so you can check it out there. I do believe this Thursday we're also going to be doing a second episode of this podcast with a very popular guest that we had on just a couple weeks ago called Johnny, AKA the Lone Chemist. Immediately a fan favorite guest. We're going to have him back on again this week. Normally we don't do 2 episodes in 1 week. The reason we're doing this is because we need to do 2 episodes in 2 weeks 2 episodes in a week, 2 weeks in a row, in order to have the 100th episode of our podcast be at TwitchCon, which we're planning to do. So again, thank you very much, Rhymestyle, for coming on. I honestly, I think you're a really good guest.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was dope.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun.
Appreciate you, big homie.
So thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you. Check out our sponsors, linked in the description. If you guys don't know who Rhymestyle is, check him out. He's a great YouTuber. And I'll see you guys in the next one.